Episode 275 is brought to you by Bro Coke. Welcome to the show. Hope you guys all have your Bro Cokes with you. I know I've got mine. Listen, this is one of those episodes where there's so many things to talk about. I almost don't even want to find out like how you guys are doing or anything else you're playing because there's too much news and new things to discuss. But I'm not going to do that because that's no fun. I'd rather fast forward through the news and talk a little more about stuff that we're currently experiencing, like the Switch 2. So the Switch 2 released. We got some new games on there we want to talk about. And then, of course, we had not E3 season upon us where we've got showcase after showcase. So we'll go through some highlights there, maybe bring up some videos or some images to show from those things that jumped out at us. But I thought it'd be more fun to kick it off with what's exciting and new and actually in our hands. Not like a trailer for something coming in the future, but we actually, each of us have a Nintendo Switch 2 in our homes at the moment. We have them. We have a couple of games for them each. Maybe bought more than we should have out of our excitement, like we talked about last week, Kyle, for the new system.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so vulnerable right now.
It got out of control.
So anyway,
I'm not gonna lie.
a little out of control. A little out of control. Yeah. I was somewhere in the middle. I think we had like small, medium, large here on the show. Here we had someone who Dan behaved. Tim did okay. And Kyle did not.
Somebody needs to send help. I think we need an intervention from here. Or something.
We do need a little intervention. That is true.
I think that's right. It's out of control over here.
But guys, we all got our Switch 2s, I think, relatively quickly after they released. Like Kyle got his the night before, technically, because we're in Mountain Time and these stores launched them at 10 p.m. our time. I got mine first thing in the morning, like truly first thing in the morning. Walmart's delivery was like 6:30. Here you go, and here's your bag of treats. And I was like, what? Walmart? Do I love Walmart?
When Gandalf was talking about the first light of day, he was talking about the Switch 2 showing up on.
That's what he meant. Yeah, look to the
That's what he meant. Yeah.
For me, I was looking to the west, so I'm not sure if that's the right direction, but it was fine. It worked out fine.
Yeah, it's whatever Tolkien says.
Subjective.
Like yeah. Directions are fine.
Eye of the beholder. Yeah.
For me, it was at dawn's first light. Look to the west, and there will be your Switch 2 and your candy and soda that you didn't ask for from Walmart. But thank you for delivering that. Right. And then Dan got his the next day. So within 24 hours of this thing releasing, we all had it.
Maybe that's why mine was a day late because I actually looked to the east. So I was looking.
Yeah.
You were looking the wrong way.
That way. Yeah.
The
Raiders of Rohan's out that way.
Yeah, way to go, dude. I know. So strange. So we all have it. And I got to tell you, when I first got the box out of the packaging, I realized, and I already knew this, but I just realized how similar this is to the Switch, like to the regular Switch. Yes. Everything about it is
my first thought was that the box is small. Like it feels a lot smaller. I guess I don't remember exactly how big the Switch box was, but I was like, boy, this is really tiny.
I think the OG Switch one was bigger, but the OLED one got smaller, I think. So like the boxes for the Switch have gotten a little more compact. But yeah. So anyway, I'm telling you your guys' first impressions. You got the systems, you unpacked it, you updated the thing, you got yourself logged in, maybe transferred some stuff over. What were your first experiences, first thoughts on the system as you booted it up?
I like the little music that plays while you're setting everything up. I don't know what. There's something nice about that.
It was happy.
Like whenever I don't know, it's just like this happy lobby music,
Yeah.
And it's just better than like it all taking place in silence. Because there's like 30 minutes where you're just kind of like, all right, let's go, but everything's transferring over. So it's just nice that there's kind of something going on there. And I like that mine didn't have a staple in it too. That's pretty nice.
Dude, I heard about that.
Didn't have a staple in it because I did get mine from GameStop. So that was the culprit. But I think that was only one store. And also, why would you ever staple something onto like it doesn't make use tape, you weirdo. Use stickies or stickers. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. But
what a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, real nice packaging. Like at all. I'm not a big watch unpacking guide guy like on YouTube, so I'm no subject matter expert on this stuff. But I wanted to get it out of the box as soon as possible and just get it hooked up. And I was just delighted how easy it was to get all my saves over and scan my QR code and log in real quick. Like it couldn't have maybe the most simplest setup
Super
for a console
smooth.
ever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It
not
even
that any of
showed you
them are
what
hard
like
these days, but just streamline.
it even showed you what saves are on your old system, and hey, we're gonna bring these
Hmm.
saves over. And I was like, oh, I forgot I ever played that game. Okay, sure, bring the save over. I guess like all right,
Yeah,
and there it was. I did think it was the console itself. I think it's a little heavier than the Switch.
it is heavier.
Um,
Well, it doesn't feel
It's a little
toy-like
bigger.
either. Like
Yeah.
the-
there's
yeah.
a real heft to it that, and like it doesn't feel plasticky. I don't know. Like the Switch kind of feels like a toy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like hardware.
It looks and feels
And I don't
slick.
that
Like it
was
looks
really
like something that matches
Yeah.
all of these other
yeah.
handhelds that are coming out now, you know?
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
agree. Yeah, it does. Like when you look at the Steam Deck, like there's a form factor to that. You're just like, oh yeah, that's or one of these like allies or whatever. Like they're just good looking systems, and I don't know. There is something really sleek looking about the Switch that I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, just pulls it away from that kid's toy type of look that it kind of like the original Switch had.
Yep. Agreed. Dan, what was your first impression with it? The setup process, I don't know, just the feel of the system, the feel of the controllers. Anything jump out at you?
So I was a little in the not knowing about the game carts whole thing. I know people were like pissed about it. But so like when I was basic, so I set everything up and I loaded it up and I got to the main screen and I was just trying to like load up Hello Kitty Island Adventures for my wife because she's like, all right, is the save gonna come over? Like I was like, oh, well, let's figure it out, blah blah blah. And like I was literally just trying to click on the game, which is a digital only game, mind you, and it was like, well, in order to use this, you got to have it like loaded in as a game card. And I was like, what are you even talking about? Like, this is not even like, I was just confused because, like, again, I just hadn't really, with everything going on, hadn't really like researched what
Kept up
that
with
was.
all of it. Yeah.
So it took me a little while to kind of wrap my head around that thing, which to me just feels like a very Nintendo way of doing it instead of just being like, I downloaded it from the cloud, it's on there, I'm good to go. Like it seems
Yeah.
like there's an extra step in there that seems really unnecessary.
What was
That
it?
kind of
I
like
guess I don't know what you're talking about. What's the extra? What's the game card? And what's the extra step?
so like all right, so when I like kind of like transferred everything and booted it up, when I clicked on the game, it wouldn't just boot
Hmm.
up. It
Yeah,
told me
they
I had
weren't
to like
installed yet.
load it into the Switch. Yeah, it like wasn't
Yeah.
Oh
installed, so
yeah,
to
all mine
speak,
had to
even though it's
re-download.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I
But
see
I'm
what you're
saying it's
saying. Yeah.
actually
So
there.
it's
Yeah,
like when
it's
you arc. It's like, is it the replacement for like the archive? Remember where you could like archive a
Yeah.
game, but it would stay on the home,
Yep.
but it would take the system data. Okay, so I didn't. I guess I didn't realize they changed all that. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
which
like
I don't even know what that
mine
is.
had
It's like
mine looks like a huge library, but only like 3 are installed right now, maybe 4. Like I didn't install a ton of
Hmm.
them. It wanted to start installing all of them, and I was like, no, I'm not letting this install all day. So I
Yeah,
canceled a ton of installations
that's what happened to
yeah,
just to
me, and I
save
ended up
myself.
not being able to play that first night because I'm just like, oh, I have like 20 games downloading right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like you're
Yeah.
right, like it didn't just transfer the game over, like
No.
like you
yeah,
were saying, like you did have to download it, yeah.
You have
yeah,
to reinstall it, right?
The
Okay.
downloads just kind of started immediately for me, which again kind of
yeah.
They did.
prompted a bit of panic, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, everything had the little bar at the
Yeah,
bottom that
okay.
was empty.
Yep,
All of
yep,
them
yep,
did. I
yep.
was like, I don't want to wait for all these. So I
Yeah, no.
selected a ton of them and hit
That
cancel. So yeah.
You're right, Dan. That is weird. I wonder why they changed that because it sounds like it serves a similar function as the archive feature, but they just called it something different and maybe
Hmm.
added some animations to signify that
Yeah.
a
I,
virtual card's being. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's pretty strange.
I just think like with PlayStation and Xbox, it's just like you delete the game, you re-download it, delete, re-download. It's very simple. It's
Hmm.
there. It's intuitive. Like this just feels like a very Nintendo way to do it. I don't know if it has something to do with their whole piracy thing or something. Like I have no idea because again, I haven't really like dove into it. Um, but like it's fine. It's on there. I figured it out. So everything that was the only like minor headache. Otherwise, same to
Yeah.
what Kyle said. It was smooth and everything's on there and it's snappy. The UI seems faster. It's not laggy. Getting to the store
Oh,
is quicker. You
buddy.
know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. And they have
Yeah.
previews for the games now, so if like you linger on the icon, like it'll just kind of start playing the
yeah,
trailer. And
Yeah.
it's just seamless. Like I remember going down a few pages, like after you go down like kind of a scroll or two, like it would hard freeze for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then
yes,
it would like
yes,
pick back up. So it's like if you're
yes,
Yeah.
cruising through like sales or whatever, like it would take forever.
Take forever.
And
Right.
I don't know. I still see a little shovelware, but I think they've buried it a little bit more, with this.
Oh,
front.
I saw
definitely there.
the first thing I saw was hentai girl something. So I mean, it's there.
Yeah, that's because
That was like
sadly
the first thing
I saw that one too, but that is a bestseller, so it keeps on showing up on the bestseller.
Okay.
Like,
It keeps
stuff. So,
selling.
like, that's,
Yeah.
Sure, sure,
the algorithm's not going to get rid of it if people are interacting with it,
sure.
sadly. But like, I
Bunch of
used to
perverts.
see dozens. I mean, you can still see it if you dig, but like, I used to see dozens like right in front of your face. And I feel like that's a little more buried now. I'm not, it's not gone.
I would love
like,
for there to be a shovelware tag where, like, if you're someone who's like, I actually don't mind the $1 to $5 garbage games. Okay, fine, you can turn that little toggle on. But I would love a toggle off option where it's like, don't show me anything that's not, I don't know, got some sort of stamp of approval, and I don't know what that would look like. 'Cause I don't want to hide. I don't want to hide legit indie games. I don't want to hide good indie games either. So
that's what I want.
There's a better
I want
solution.
the stamp. Like, there needs to be a stamp. Like, and Nintendo needs to take that seriously, where they're like, no, this game is optional.
Or just review it.
Nintendo
Review it goes onto your store. How about that? Just review it goes onto your store. What'd you say, Dan?
I mean, I say that's just a broader conversation, because that's something that's permeating all the storefronts, and it needs to stop.
Yeah,
it needs to go. And it just needs to stop. Like, it's just out of control.
Now, that is one thing that is certainly, you're right, that is not unique to Nintendo. I see it on the PlayStation Store, although it's harder to find because they do such a good job of keeping their first and major third-party things at the top. But if you just organize it by recent releases, that's when you're like, oh, all this garbage is here too. Got it. It's just Nintendo does it by recent release by default on a lot of their lists. And so yeah, that is certainly, I mean, if you ever go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, those are full of garbage. And so, like, you have to know... You have to use those top lists. You have to rely on those, which is unfortunate for, like, the small developer who's trying to get their foot in the door, and they're just for some reason grouped in a way they shouldn't be with the actual shovelware. But whatever. But yeah, they definitely shifted things with the virtual card setup, which I've played around with that a little bit. My recent trip with my kids, I did the game loaning feature where you loan them a virtual card. It's technically off my system for the 2 weeks that I'm loaning it out. And then it will automatically return after 2 weeks, or I can set a different return date. I can loan it to them again. You can only loan one game at a time to one other user at a time. So, like, there's these rules around. It's almost like loaning it to a friend, like a neighbor, and then making sure it gets returned the next day. So I do like the virtual card setup, and so I've gotten a little more used to it. So when they all loaded on my screen, I was already used to that. I was like, yeah, I need to. These are all trying to download. I don't need them to download, but I have them considered. They're considered like installed, quote unquote, on my machine right now because they're there as virtual cards. So if, for example, I logged in with my account to a couple of other kids' Switches so they can always download things from my account and play games I've purchased. It's like our way of game sharing. So as long as I'm not online, they can download as me. With the virtual cards, we don't need to do that. I can just loan it to them. But for right now, let's say there's probably dozens of games that I don't currently have loaded on my system. They could just go download them from the eShop right now as me if they wanted to. But the other games that I have on there as cards, as virtual cards, they can't go re-download because it's already installed on my system. So it's an interesting. It's like it's almost like their own DRM thing where it's like that game belongs somewhere right now, and so that virtual card is like installed on your system, even though the software itself would still need to download and install. It's very,
which I think
very
is the
convoluted.
very Nintendo thing, because I think they care a lot about like the kids, having that barrier of like kids shouldn't be playing this, or they should be playing this, and the parents letting the parents to decide. I do appreciate those features.
Well, and it's also in mind of a multi-console household. You know what I mean? So it feels like it is focused on like a house that may have 3 or 4 Switches in it, but like maybe you don't want to buy 3 or 4 copies of this game.
Yeah.
And I've always used the archive feature. So like my Switch, even though maybe only 2 or 3 things were ever downloaded on it, there was like 100, things, all like icons always on there, because I would just archive the game, which would keep the, I guess what they call now the game card, like on my system, but it's not downloaded, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I guess I didn't even clock that there was a change. They just kind of changed the name and added some extra rules, it sounds like. So that's the only reason I didn't clock it, is it's something else. It's just called something else now. It's something that already existed.
Yeah, I agree. Well, speaking of sharing with family and friends, one of the things we were looking forward to, of course, was playing this little game right here with some multiplayer. So Mario Kart World. I'm curious what you guys think of this game so far, but for some reason in my head, and it's my own fault because I didn't pay close enough attention, I thought this was one of the game share games that was on the Nintendo Switch 2, where I can game share with
That
other
is- I thought it was-
Switches, and we can all play on. We have like a Switch Lite, 3 Nintendo Switches, and 1 Switch OLED. Everyone could play. I was so pumped. It's not one of the game share games. It's not like there's other games like the Clubhouse tabletop games and those kind of things. But Mario Kart World is not one of them, which is a major
That
bummer.
has to be on a Switch too, I guess maybe.
Probably, yeah. There's something
Yeah.
with that. So anyway, that was pretty easily like we got over that pretty quick once you just put it on the big screen and hooked up a bunch of controllers and started playing split screen multiplayer. We played some online while playing split screen, which is even more chaotic because it's hard to see and you're playing online with like a lot of the wide range of ages that are clearly playing this game online is hilarious. You're gonna have people who are super, as the kids call it, sweaty, right? They're really good, they try really hard, and they're always first. And then you're gonna have a whole bunch of us, myself included, who are okay at it, we're competent at it, and we always finish in the middle of the pack, and we're just always trying to cause chaos for everyone. Like it's wild, dude. 24 people playing online is wild.
I would imagine.
So yeah. Now, playing with NPCs is what you would expect, right? With playing against a computer, it's exactly how it's felt in every other Mario Kart game. It's just more crowded now. So anyway, so overall, we've had a blast with all the multiplayer stuff so far they've had. But what have you guys experienced? What are your thoughts so far on Mario Kart World, assuming you have it?
I think what you're mentioning with the boosted number, that is very noticeable with the chaos. Like when you're in the middle of the chaos, it's like it's feels like anything Mario Kart's ever had. Like it's insane.
I forget what they call that bracket, but it's that like if you're anywhere between in the old game like 4th place to 10th place, like you're just in the madness zone, like where it's just like you're just getting pelted by everything in front of you and everything behind you. But now that
you're just in the shit show.
Now that like that zone, it feels like 4th place to like 28th place. You know what I mean? Like it just it's so insanely huge. And it does just feel like I'm just getting pounded. Like I mean, by everything, weapons I've never even seen before. You know, which is all part of the chaos, I assume.
And there's some attacks that I actually still don't understand. Like when they have that little wizard guy fly by and change you into someone else. What does that do to you? Because I feel like does it hurt you? Slow you down?
No, so what happens is that like if you get turned into a Goomba, like up the road, giant Goomba, either a mini or a giant like thing will appear there, and it's drawn towards you. So it's like when I got turned into a Goomba, a giant Goomba was in the road, and when I like turned to Ben, like it just started running straight at me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got turned into one of those charging chucks, and a big charging chuck did come after me, but I thought that was just part of the track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the tracks are so crazy that
I assume all the crazy stuff belongs there.
The thing was in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the tracks are super crazy. By the way, go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say the feather is I think it's like kind of like a dodge type of mechanic, right? It took me a second to think of but like it just doesn't seem like it's easy to use because you kind of really have to like look. I guess you can look behind you.
Yeah, I think I see some people use it as shortcuts too. So like jumping up like onto a higher tier of
or to get onto a rail. You can use it to get onto a rail.
Yeah, exactly. Or I've seen some people like bypass like sections of the map too by just like kind of jumping off road and like I don't know, like just people have gotten really clever with it already. I'm never gonna use that. I'm not good at this game at all. So.
I've had one time where I used it where
some boost and I'm home.
I have to admit it was by accident, so I don't want to take too much credit for being like the Saquon Barkley of Mario Kart over here. But I don't know if it was this track or it was one like it that had these cars coming at you, and I used the flower just to jump over an oncoming car right as a red shell was shot at me. So the red shell hit the car instead of me right as I jumped over it. So in that moment, I did feel like, dude, I'm so good with this feather. Yeah, I was like, I'm so amazing. But it just the timing happened to work out that way. So yeah, it can help in some ways, but I usually get rid of it. If I get a feather and there's another like item box coming up, I'll dump the feather and hope for something else. So, but the golden shell is kind of cool because you can attack people with it and it generates all these coins, which is always fun. But
lots of
the boomerang pretty effectively. The boomerang's been really nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. The thing that I did first when I loaded this game up is I just hit the little plus button, the start button, to do free roam, and I just rode around the map. That's
I haven't done that yet.
Because right on the main menu, it's just right there. It says start free roam. So I did, and it's pretty cool. Like, is there a ton to do? Not really, but I mean,
No.
all the obstacles and moving things and enemies and coins and items, they're all there for you to collect. There's some
You could
power
go
blocks
hunt
for you to hit.
costumes. Yeah,
You can
you
go
can go
hunt
Can
hunt
you?
costumes
Okay.
down. Yeah,
You could do
which
that
you
with
can
I wasn't
also
sure if
get
that was
during.
just in the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
You can do it during races or in free roam. You can just pick
Right.
up costumes with any character,
Okay.
and depending
And where
on
they
which
are on
map
those
you're on.
racetracks,
Hmm.
they're always they're stagnant. They're always there. It
Yep,
feels random, whatever you get. Sometimes I'll get like a
it
food
does.
item and like nothing happens, or maybe a boost will happen,
It'll
and then
just
sometimes
boost
I
you.
get
Yeah,
an
yeah,
Mhm.
outfit.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, that's what I figured.
yeah.
It was
So
it's been
the
pretty.
RNG.
character
I've
selection
found some
screen
really
is a little
fun
it's
costumes.
a little dishonest because a lot of those characters that you unlock are just costumes. Which is fine.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
costumes are actually pretty creative and cute and they're great, but you're not getting 150 characters or whatever it looks like at a
No.
glance. Like,
Like literally
yeah,
all they had to do was just when you hover over like Yoshi, for example,
switch
just color, just
costume.
palette swap.
Yeah,
Like why do they
yeah,
have to have it be a whole separate like
yeah,
icon? You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I agree. Yeah, but that's okay.
but
I
That's
don't know.
again,
If
if
that's the
it's
it
fine.
feels
sacrifice we
Nintendo.
had to have, so I have a Waluigi vampire character, then so be it. Okay.
All
So,
right. I mean,
and his
sure.
name is Wampire, like
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
for God's
Waluigi
sake.
vampire.
Vampire.
Wham.
It's too
Damn it.
good. The game of the
It's
year.
Jesus.
amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, the track designs are incredible. Like they might not be the most efficient or intuitive that the series has ever had. There's been some absolutely stellar tracks over the years. So I haven't played it enough yet to tell you it has the best tracks of all Mario Kart. But I do know I've enjoyed them. I think they're chaotic, they're crazy, they're fun, super creative. I think they use some of the new kind of abilities or vehicles pretty well. And I also just think they have this epicness to them that the news story broke like the day it released that Monolith, the team behind the Xenoblade Chronicles games, they're the ones who helped design and lay out these
Yeah.
tracks
Yeah.
for this
Makes
game,
sense. Makes
which
sense.
totally makes sense when you see it, like, oh, okay, that's the grand scope we're looking at here. Got it. Like it's pretty
Um,
crazy.
So I think I'm actually opposite of you, Tim. This might have like most of my favorite tracks in any Mario Kart
I'm loving
because
them. Yeah,
I love the so I don't necessarily mind tracks that just like loop around, but this has a lot of tracks that are like actually like organically like you're going from point A to point B.
yeah,
Like
like
the whole
checkpoints.
thing
Yeah, they're like
is
sprints.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just think that's really cool because it's like, oh, like, yeah, we did just kind of pass down there, but like now we're up here and like things are
Yep.
like happening in the background and all sorts of chaos is ensuing. And I don't know, I think that just like makes the level feel the less repetitious. Like you're just not seeing the
Yeah,
same
and
things as you
even
go
this right here,
around.
you're seeing on the screen, it's starting as everyone's driving
Yeah.
already as the countdown happens.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
wait, what? We're
rolling
moving?
start. Yeah, rolling start. Yeah,
Rolling
and
start.
I like a lot of the levels like where I mean like you'll start the race and you're kind of still in the last race a little bit for
Yes,
like
yes,
a
yeah,
stretch
Yeah.
of
yeah,
it, and then it transitions into the new track, and I like that a lot
yep,
too, and the music transitions with it, and there's a lot of
yep,
really smooth, good transition. I think that while the open world may be empty, which it is, it is what it is. I think
Yeah,
what it does is create a sense of space, for these
it
tracks
does.
to actually occupy in a really real way. Where again, like you can, like Dan was saying, like look back and go, yeah, we were just over there doing that thing, or hey, there
Yep.
it was, that
mhm,
tower that we just glided off of, and yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty, it is pretty cool. I do like that. This game does occupy a sense of space, and all the tracks do as well.
It does. Like, see what this character's doing here as they kind of just go whatever direction they want. You're not trying to like
yeah,
win a race. You're just exploring and looking around, jumping off ledges like this to see what you can find. I'm fine with that. Like, I didn't need it to be more than this. I will say though, I would love for the next evolution of this to take a page out of the Forza Horizon book and just put little
mm,
challenges like jump distance or speed
sure,
checks or use this item, hit this target. I don't know. All the different things you could do with Mario Kart. Like if you had more
Yeah,
challenges in the world as you're exploring open world, well now you've got me really hooked on this free roam mode. Like for right now, I've done a couple of these where you like have to go through these rings or collect the blue coins or whatever, and they're fine. Like they're fine, but it's also like it feels like one of many things we could have done in the open world. But it's not.
yeah,
Again, I don't hate it. I don't think it shouldn't be there. It feels to me like a cool early version of a great idea, is what it feels like.
Yeah,
Um,
and again, I think a lot of this stuff was supposed to be there for you to interact with while you're waiting for a match to start and stuff like that. So a lot of this stuff is
exactly.
supposed to be like, like I'm gonna make my whole day free roaming. Like that's not the purpose of that mode, As much as people
Yeah.
want to imprint that onto the mode itself, that wasn't Nintendo's intention. Their
It's never
intention
been meant
is
to
is
be an
like,
open
hey,
world game.
yeah, you have something. They said they don't even like that word. Like that's why they say free roam. Like well, it's not an
Yeah.
Yeah.
open world game. Like everyone chill out. But like it is cool. I think that it could be more to be done, and there could be more ways to fill up that world. To use that word. But like,
Yep.
if this was just supposed to be like instead of staring at a loading screen or a server screen or whatever, hey, you can go around and like scout out tracks or like do cool jumps and go through ring. Great, like that's
Yeah.
good enough for me.
Yep. And I mean, as
And
you
yeah,
saw
you
there,
can't.
there was a little mission that you complete, which is like, so there's that little sense of like completing things in the
Yeah, I
map,
did
which is
something.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of unlocking stuff. If there's,
Dude,
I don't know
yeah.
if there is in this game, like you can find things that are there things in free roam here that you can only find in free roam as opposed
I
to
don't
going to
know about
Periphery?
only. I think when you complete
Right.
missions, you might. I'm not sure.
Okay.
As far as I know,
Okay.
it's like what Kyle was saying. It's those meals that give you the new
Sure.
outfits, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
coin collecting will unlock new vehicles.
Okay.
I'm not sure if
Yeah.
there's.
Because I,
I'm
I
not
think
sure
that's a
yet.
fun
And there's,
idea
there's
to
stamps
Yeah.
encourage.
also, and I
Mhm.
bet like stamps are probably a thing that you can probably only get off the beaten path, or some you can only
Mm,
get off the beaten path, which you would get through
Okay.
free
Yeah.
roam.
Yeah.
And
mm.
stamps, I haven't really dove into that too, but you can take all those stamps and like put them all over your car and like customize your car that way, from what I
Oh,
understand.
okay.
So
I
there
haven't done
there
that yet.
is
That's cool.
there is like a reason to collect those stamps. I think that's true. I'm not again. I haven't dove into that, but I remember hearing something about that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is jolly. It looks really good. It runs super smooth.
Yeah.
I played it both in handheld and docked mode. Both were great. I even did like the tabletop mode with the new like much more sturdy little prop
Mm,
thing
Oh, I
that
love that
works.
thing. Yeah.
It works really well. I'm already because we're traveling in July. Our whole family's flying out to the East Coast for a vacation with our family, and I'm already like, dude, I can absolutely prop this up. I've done this before with my old Switch. Tried to prop it up on an airplane tray. It never stays up. Not for very long, at least. So I always had to
Hmm.
use other things to like put a book here and put my headphones there to try to get it to stay up. This thing is sturdy and it actually holds
yeah.
it up. So I can already see us sitting on the plane playing
God, do you
this.
remember that
Much
old
smarter.
kickstand, guys? Remember that
The old
old like dumb
kickstand.
that when that
This
like
is a
broke
much smarter
after a couple?
design.
It's a
Much
Yeah,
much
it's like
smarter
smarter
design
it
for
design.
runs
sure.
across the whole
Yeah.
back of it. The Steam Deck doesn't even have anything like this. Like it is
Yeah.
nice to be able to set your thing down without like covering all the vents on the back of it. Like
Yep.
I love it when put my Steam Deck down, like especially on my bed or something like that, and like it almost catches my sheets on fire. Like the
It
back
gets
of it's just
so
so
hot.
hot. And it's
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
suffocating because there's no fans going through it. It's like
Yeah.
it's insane. And I love that Steam Deck, but like this is just one of those things that like Nintendo really thought about the design philosophy of like the system. How are
Yeah.
people going to play this thing? Are people going to prop it up? Yes, yeah, I've already propped it up and used my
hmm
impeccable Pro controller, guys. Have y'all touched this thing? The Pro
I,
controller too?
I have not got the Pro
Uh,
Controller 2. No.
well,
I
Kyle, I
think
was supposed to receive mine yesterday, and it's FedEx has possibly just lost it, possibly. So
sorry,
that's
sorry
fine.
to
Dang.
sorry to
Just-
Oh, I'm not aiming this at you when I say this though. uh, it's the
That's
best
not your
feeling
fault.
controller I think I've ever. I swear to God, I'm trying not to be hyper. I know we're on like Switch 2 madness right now. I'm drunk off the Switch 2. It's probably the most comfortable controller I've ever held in my entire life.
Mm.
Nice.
I think the responsiveness of it is perfect. The clickiness of it. Again, I know I have some rose-tinted glasses, like honeymoon period stuff going on right now, and I know that the Pro controller and the original Switch like was really good. This is such a
It
huge evolution
is.
of that. Even just the feel of the controller, what it's made out of, everything just is perfect, and it's like the perfect weight. It's not too heavy. It doesn't feel too light. And the HD 2 rumble feature is I mean like
Yeah.
Mm.
it's really good. Like it's a great Pro controller. If y'all ever are in the need of one, it is
And as silly
absolutely
as it
worth
sounds, they
like
actually have a little headphone jack, or like the other one does not, where you can listen
used it
to
this
if you're
Right.
playing
weekend.
on the
Yeah,
couch. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That to me was a big miss. I love the original Switch Pro controller, which actually I've been using while we're playing Mario Kart as one of our controllers
Hmm.
to all
Hmm.
play together. And I'm like, man, this is a good controller. It's just one of the best. It's so
Great
simple
controller.
and it works really well, but it is missing that. If you're playing single player and want to, have the music right in your ears without waking everybody up late at night, It is kind of a bummer that you have to extend some kind of headphone jack all the way to the system if you want to listen to it
Yeah.
on the old Pro controller.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that being said, dude, I am really digging Mario Kart, but it's not the only game I've been playing on my Switch too. I've also played a little bit of Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. Do either one of you get this one?
Yes.
Playing a different RPG.
And I
Okay.
played so much of it last night, Tim. So.
Yeah. Okay. So what'd you think? Okay. Now I've talked about this in past episodes. I've played some old Rune Factory games, specifically a lot of 2 on the DS. I played a lot of that. Really enjoyed that game. But what did you think of this one so far? I'm only about maybe 2 hours in. I've done a few things, done a little bit of everything, I think. But yeah, I've got some thoughts. I'm curious what you think of it, since I think it's your first time in the series,
It's
right?
my first Rune Factory, so I didn't really know what to expect. I don't really know if this is much like past ones either. But it's pretty cool. It's really Japanese coded, so it's just all this folklore and samurai and dragons and fantasy and making rice balls and all that stuff. So
And in their words,
you know,
not mine, buxom fairies living in trees. I didn't call her
Buxom
that. That's,
They
very
actually
horny,
say that in the game.
very horny,
Yes.
horny game. Yeah, very horny game. Across the
Sure.
board, like there's like horny dudes and horny girls. It's
Yep.
very,
Oh, you know,
it's something, I'll tell you. But I don't know. Maybe that's part of what the series.
you
is.
need
It's always
something to
kind of a
balance
dating
out the
sim.
mundaneness of trying to plant stuff. You know, like you're waiting for your
Yeah,
crops to like grow. So
yeah.
you need
And
some.
I
You
again,
know,
I'm jumping so far into the series that like I'm sure all of that farming stuff is so streamlined by this century. So of course it feels good. Of course, like it's simple. Of course, it's really like
It's not even the main
the
focus anymore. The
yeah,
farming.
yeah. I mean, I got like people to run all that stuff really quickly for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
that
oh
that
wow,
automized super quick, and it does feel
okay.
like more about like, hey, you need to go out into the world and like
Yeah.
explore and like fight and stuff like that. And
And kind of
that
manage your
portion of it,
overall town a little more too than just the
that's
farming
yeah,
too.
there is a lot of
Oh,
like
okay.
managing the town
I
and
like that.
talking with people every day and getting like their bonds up and going on
Mm-hmm.
dates with them and giving them presents and stuff like that. All that stuff is cool. I like all that stuff. You know, I don't know what's new and what's old for this series, but all that stuff does feel pretty interesting. There's a nice loop where every day I'm like, okay, a new day started. I got all the money for my crops that I sold yesterday. I got, you know, you can sell anything. You can make a bunch of meals and sell those too. You know, that's pretty cool. I do like the economy system. There's a lot going on in this game, but like the thing I have done the least, which I really want to do more of, is the exploring and going out and like killing stuff, because that does feel like pretty cool. I mean, like it's
Yeah.
just like one button that attacks, but like there's a dodge button and there's a you know, you have like magic that you're using and stuff like that to heal, and you have a bow, you know, you have a samurai sword, you know, and all that good stuff. It feels good enough, but like it's not like some complex like character action game or anything like that.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
there is a thing where like I'm at a part where a waymarker is so far out there, it's taken me a couple of game days to get there.
Oh, okay.
Because like you can only have so much time in the day before like your health starts depleting at a rapid rate, like at about 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. So like you can't just like do everything all in one day. You know, the game has a very like Animal Crossing esque, like okay, like except you get to proceed the day. You don't have to wait for tomorrow to actually play, and like you do in Animal Crossing. It's just like, well, I've maxed out what I can do today. Let's just turn the day over now. And I
Yeah.
like that. I do like that. Like I couldn't just do this mission in one go. Like I've had to like break it up across days, and like one day I didn't even go out. I had a whole day of pause just because I had so much stuff to do in the town. There's just a lot going on in this game, and I'm only
Yeah.
like 4 hours in, so I'm not too much further than you, Tim. But like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mechanics going on, but it did automize pretty more quick than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
again, like now I feel like I do have a little more freedom to go out and maybe do some missions and stuff like that. Which again, there's quests and
Yeah.
it feels like an RPG just with like some farm simming and dating sim stuff. That's kind of what it feels like.
The storytelling and the dialogue does remind me a lot of old DS and Game Boy type days because it skips so much. Like we're so used now, we're spoiled now with nuance and character dialogue and storytelling where they're going to fill every gap. They almost treat it like a TV show or a movie where they don't, like, every moment is important. And this, it skips ahead quite a bit, especially at the beginning. You go like this big thing happens and that happens and everyone's all of a sudden like friends, like, hey, why don't you come to our village? You know what, why don't you be the mayor? Yeah, you
Oh,
be the
okay.
mayor. Like it gets
Yeah.
it just moves so quick, and it's a little,
Yeah.
it actually made me chuckle out loud. I was like, boy, they're not even trying to explain to you the
That's such an
actual how. It's just let's
opposite
Yeah.
just go.
farming thing. because a lot of them
Yeah.
are, very slow and methodical, and like
Yeah.
you're taking each
Yeah.
day as like, all right, this person, I'm growing the relationship a little bit,
It
and
still
this.
has that, but, like, they wanna get you in a position where you're making decisions for really the whole town, and it would give
Yeah,
you a
like
reason to go out and
sooner.
fight early on. Yeah, they just kinda but none of that's a criticism, it's more of just, like, I had to realize what this was again. I'm like, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, got it. Rune Factory, I'm back there, I'm there again." So, I've had a
Yeah.
good
I
time with
like
it.
it.
It takes little pieces from stuff like the old Rune Factories, of course, but also little elements here and there from stuff like Stardew Valley, and then,
Mm.
like you mentioned, Animal Crossing. It's got all those
You
little
know,
touches.
You know what it
Pretty
really
fun
reminds me of,
overall.
especially the bond system specifically, where you're like talking at talking heads and like giving them
Fire
things and like
Emblem?
they do like yes, thank you. Yeah, Fire Emblem Three
I
Houses,
was gonna
dude. Like
say that.
every time in
Yeah.
between fights you go
Yep.
home and you hang out in your town and you do
Yep.
some light simmy stuff and you do some like
Yep.
again, like Rune Factory came out first, maybe it's been doing it all along, but like I immediately go, "Oh, Fire Emblem." So like there was an immediateness to like connecting to like the cycle, I guess, for me,
Yep.
even though I think that
Mm.
first hour I was just like, what am I playing right now? Like I actually had
Yeah.
no idea kind of what I was playing for that first hour because it was my first time playing this. But after that, after you started getting more people in your town, it started expanding and I don't know, there was just a lot of familiarity to kind of like the progression and
Mhm.
stuff like that, just borrowed from other things or maybe other things borrowed from this.
Yep. I'm glad I bought at first I was like, "Oh, I don't know, the visuals and the style. Am I really in the mood for this kind of thing?" Because again, it's very Japanese. It does not look amazing. It runs pretty smoothly on the Switch too, but it doesn't necessarily. It's not going to blow you away visually
Hmm.
overall. And so I actually did have that moment where I was like, "Is this the thing I want to play?" But then it was actually pretty late at night, the first night that I was playing all these games, and I ended up playing more than I thought. And I really am intrigued to keep diving back in to it when I have more time to play. So I am glad that I bought it, but it is a full priced game, so you just have to know,
Yeah.
like, look at review. I mean, the reviews of it are pretty overwhelmingly positive. It's averaging like 80, 81, something like that on most aggregate scores. So it's very, very strong in terms of it seems like people who are reviewing it know what it's supposed to be. So don't go in
Yeah.
expecting anything other than like find out what it is first and then figure out if it's for you.
Yeah.
But
There's a
it
lot
is
of
a
info
nice,
out there about this
deep new
game.
game to play on your new console. You don't have to buy it on Switch 2 though. It is on the original Switch. And so you could even buy the original Switch version if you want on your Switch 2 for $10 cheaper. It's just
Mhm.
probably not going to look quite as nice. I actually don't know the side by side comparisons of those two things. But anyway, so yeah, I'm glad you're playing it too, Kyle. I do think this is one of those ones that I had my eye on. I was like, maybe I'll play it at some point, and here I am playing it like right at launch, and I
This
am
was such
enjoying
a
it.
shot in the dark, and when I played it the first night too, kind of when I was rolodexing through everything, I was like, this is probably the one I'm least interested in. And I then I played it for 4 hours straight yesterday, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Okay,
all right,
well,
yeah,
okay. Uh huh.
I guess I'm in.
I guess I like it. There's also Fast Fusion, which was another launch game for the original Switch. That Kyle, you and I were talking about this about how it's like, yeah, sure, racing game, kind of F-Zero like. It's pretty cheap. I'm gonna get this thing. Happened with the first Switch. I enjoyed it. This one, honestly, very similar. Like, just looks better, runs better. It's got a few new features, but overall, it's the same type of sleek F-Zero looking futuristic racer game where you're going like 500, 600 miles an hour and everything's flying past you. And
go
in docked
fast.
mode on the TV, it does look and run really good. Like it's very
Yeah,
impressive looking. I remember the last one on the original Switch, and I understand why, but it was cool, but it was very blurry
yeah,
as you're playing it, but it was fine. But this one runs super, super smooth and looks very sharp. So, but again, it's a racing game, kind of that futuristic hovering type craft. It's easy to um, it's easy to kind of lose momentum in this kind of a game where you're like, man, I don't get it. But once you get into the groove of when to use boost, when to switch modes from red to blue, when to jump, all those kind of things, like it is pretty fun. I do like it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've
Same.
never
Yeah,
been.
I mean, I played a couple of races and was just like, oh, this is cool, but Mario Kart's kind of like it's hard to. If you want to play a racing game, that feels like that's the one to go to right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But no, it is a sharp looking game, and it looks like it's really content rich too. It seems like there's a lot of like circuits and stuff like that. Dan, did you ever
Yeah.
play the original one of these or?
No, I've never. So like I'm not actually like super not familiar with like F-Zero and like those type of like was it Wipeout on PlayStation? Like I've never been into like the super
Wipeout.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
fast
Yeah, Wipeout. Yeah.
sci-fi racers. Not
Extreme
like anything
G, remember
against
that
them.
from N64?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Or Hydro Thunder. I remember having Hydro Thunder on PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually pretty fun. But yeah, no, I've never been super into those ones. And Mario Kart's just, that's the racer for me at the moment.
I'm trying to remember which one. Okay, so the one for the original Switch was Fast RMX. That's what it was. Okay, that sounds about
Oh,
right.
okay. Oh, okay. All right.
And there were
I
other
thought
ones
it was
too,
called
Fast
PlayStation as
Racing
well.
Neo, Fast Racing League. So it's been around for a little bit on the Wii, Wii U, Switch, and now Switch 2. So
It's their Ridge Racer. Remember when like PlayStation always launched with a Ridge Racer game? Like that seems like
Ridge
this became like
Racer.
Wii's or Nintendo's kind of analog for that.
well, now I'm looking at the details. This makes sense because you know how I was saying it runs super smooth docked. Like on handheld, it was fine, it was good. But when I put it on docked, I was like, dude, this feels like I'm playing it on the Xbox or PS5. Like it really does look and play really well. It's not trying to do a lot. It's a pretty simple racing game, but that's because it runs at 4K 60 frames per second when docked. So
getting all those
yeah,
Ks.
I guess the Switch 2 isn't as much of a joke as Nintendo consoles often are. You know, when they first
No,
launch,
it still
it's
is,
like,
right? I mean, it definitely
it's still a joke.
It's
Okay,
terrible.
yeah,
it's
you're
terrible.
right. You're right. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah. So I'm enjoying that one too. Now, Dan, you dove into a remaster of an RPG that a lot of people probably haven't thought about, especially if they never owned a DS or a 3DS. This Bravely Default series. But this is a remaster of the first one, right? That came
Yes,
out.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, and that was a
Back
DS game
back on
before.
the 3DS. 3DS.
3DS. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about this one, and I haven't looked at reviews on this yet, but tell me, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about this one?
So I had this one on the 3DS because I'm a RPG nerd, so I remember when they announced this, I was excited back in the day. It was like one of the few games that I was like, oh, the 3D is actually really cool in this because of like the art style. I think just lends well. It made it look like a pop-up book, kind of like the dimension of the background and everything. So
like the
it looked really
villages,
cool.
especially like kind of have like a diorama.
Yeah, exactly. Now you do lose that, of course, with this because we don't have the 3D feature. But the game still is really charming. Looks really, it's simplistic in some parts, but like overall, like it's really beautiful. Even like in some of the fights, like depending on where you're at, like I'm in a desert area, and like the first fight that popped up, I was like, oh, that background like looks really, like it's just drawn really well. It just looks really nice. But yeah, it's essentially like it's a Final Fantasy game. Like I mean, literally the core of like what's happening here is about crystals, which is like the core of the Final Fantasy series is crystals.
And it has a Final Fantasy 3 style like class or job system. Excuse me. Very very
you
similar.
got the jobs. Yep. So and there is voice acting. So that's really cool. And except when you're doing kind of like the very tales of when you're roaming around and you start
Talking
like a random
heads.
conversation. Yeah, the talking heads kind of convos where that's your reading, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, it's just really charming. It's really cute. It from what I remember liking it then. I just never finished it back on the 3DS. I don't remember why. I don't know if I've never been super into just like sitting somewhere and having a handheld in my hand. I've always been like, I want to sit on the couch on the TV playing a thing. It's just that's always been my thing. So I think I just maybe got distracted by something at that time. But I'm glad that now I can play this on my TV for sure, because I will beat it this time. I know, Kyle, I think you either beaten it or you definitely probably did way more than me from what it sounded like in our.
I beat it the first time around when it came out.
Okay.
I've said this many times. I am the handheld gamer. I grew up with like a handheld in my system, so I'm more likely to beat something if it's on a handheld, especially like big grindy JRPGs like this. And that's just from like sneaking Game Boys at school, and just that's being a sneaky gamer.
Okay.
Being a bad boy.
Sure.
But and this one I got this one too, and strangely this is the one I've been playing the most. I think I'm like 12 hours into it already. Like level 35 with all my characters.
Is it what you remembered, or is it like, does it feel like a new experience?
So the 3DS, it's old, so when you think about it, like you're like, oh, that game's why would they? That's gonna look old. It does. It looks good, for
it
a
looks
game
charming.
I thought for $40, a game that they weren't really marketing very hard. We didn't really hear much about it before they just announced it. I was just like, oh, they just kind of ported it over or whatever. It's like, no, they really went out of their way to like sharpen up some edges and
Yeah.
make everything like look good. I'm not saying it's gonna win like graphics of the year or anything like that, but like I was
No.
shocked at the facelift that it was given. And Dan and I were talking about this in chat, but like it just has a really good, smooth loop. Like it
Yeah.
just. I do want to just get into one more fight. I think it helps that you can speed up everything. It helps that you can
Yep.
create autos. So it's like I can hit. It's not just like hitting auto and it like going, okay, I'm gonna just use whatever. Like you can choose exactly what moves that you're gonna
Like a
do
preset.
in order, like a preset exactly. And since every fight needs a little something different, you can set up multiple presets and kind of like the Gambit system a little bit. Not exactly,
Yeah.
Gambit's a little
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
automated, but like the Final Fantasy 12 Gambit system, like you can just kind of like throw it on itself and the game will kind of play itself, and it makes grinding easy. You could pop that bad boy up to 200% encounter rate. You could drop it down to 50% encounter rate. So you can choose when you're grinding and when you're trying to like move your way through a dungeon, and it just
Yeah.
streamlines everything to the point where I'm like, if you're not doing this and you're a JRPG, like you're like wasting my time. You know what I mean? Like it's just like this is the way to like speed kind of those like slower things
Yeah.
up in these like long JRPGs. And don't be mistaken, this is like an 80+ hour, this is one of the long ones. So strap in, grind away. You're gonna need it. And it's cool. I just like the job system, and I like
Nice.
okay, I'm gonna switch my character to this job and I'm gonna grind that out for a little
Yeah.
bit, and it's just cool.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
It's got a little town building feature, so which is built into the story, like right in the beginning, without being spoilery, like something happens and then it's like, all right, well, we're gonna rebuild. And like I really love that kind of stuff. Now you're not like dragging and dropping things. It's just kind of like a unlock this. It's just like a menu that you
Yeah.
kind of open up and you see like a little sign of like, oh, that's gonna be a shop. But I just like the that dopamine of like progressing this village and like leveling it up and unlocking things and being like, ooh, now I can
That's
get
kind of
like
how
the
that
new
Aiden
armor.
Chronicles Rising game was from a couple years ago, like the
Yes.
side scrolling
Yeah.
one where you
Yes,
upgrade the
it's a
town
lot like
in
that.
very like linear ways, which is fine.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the currency in this, or the resource in this, is people. So as you get people who want to move to your town, which you just kind of pick up like in different villages and stuff like that, you can use those people to throw against the time that it takes to unlock something. So like it'll say 50 hours to unlock this thing. You throw about 10 people on that, it becomes like 2 hours. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
and you can distribute those people across multiple projects, or you can focus on one project. Projects completing get you things like, oh, a new piece of gear or a new piece of armor because hey, you upgraded your weapon shop and now they have more rare weapons to sell, so you kind of
That's
benefit
fun.
from that. There is a give and take of that as well. I love
All
that
the
system.
upgrades.
Yeah, all of it. Spend all the money.
Yeah, you gotta love the
Yeah,
upgrades.
but-
Well, I'm curious to try that one out. Do you feel like it's worth the full price at this point, or unless
It's $40?
unless you?
$40,
I think
yeah,
$40,
$40,
absolutely.
yes.
Oh, it's only 40. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's only 40.
Yeah, that's what was like. That's why I kind of dismissed it so quickly. Is like it's 40, but it's just a port, obviously, at that price.
That's
But like,
pretty
no,
good.
it's
$40.
again,
Okay.
if you look at stills, especially of the environment specifically, or specifically the villages, you're like, oh, this is a good looking game. Like this isn't like a DS game.
Like I actually like the way this looks a little more than like the proper 2, because there's second. What was the second one called? Second something.
I thought it's called Bravely Default 2. I thought.
No, so Bravely Default 2 came out on the Switch, but there was a second.
Oh, Bravely Second,
Default.
I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
Bravely
Bravely
Second. Yes, thank you. Yeah. I think that's exactly what it was. But like 2.
Oh yeah,
on
Bravely
Switch, like, it
Second
wasn't...
End Layer.
Yes. Okay.
End Layer. Yeah.
Which looked, I'm pretty sure, more like this. But then with 2, they kind of gave it a little bit of a different look to it, and I didn't hate it, but like there was just something a little off about it that just
I agree.
I didn't like as much as this one. This one just feels more
totally
like
agree.
Kyle said, like diorama, kind of like a pop-up book, like you're reading like an old story, like a children's story kind of thing,
Yeah. And it's, like the characters are, again, it's not winning any best story, best character awards, but like it's all there. Like there's characters and like they're endearing enough, and you got your pervy guy who likes to hit on all the girls, and you got like your
Sure, yeah,
simpleton
yeah.
girl who's going to save the world, and you got your badass girl who's way too cool for her own good, and you have you
Yeah.
who's kind of just like a blank analog,
Pure-hearted
you know.
hero.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
pure-hearted hero.
yeah, a pure-hearted hero, exactly. So very archetypical, very traditional. Like Dan was saying, it's Final Fantasy through and through in terms of just being like, the crystals are sick, we got to go cure them. It's like, yeah, we've played that before. So you're not gonna win any, but I like the job designs. Like, that whenever you look at a character who's a bad guy, you're like, obviously I'm gonna get their job, because when I beat them,
Yeah.
they're so overly
Yes.
constructed as a character,
Yeah.
that obviously they're a job, and I'm gonna beat them and I'm gonna siphon their job force from them. And I like that.
Absolutely.
So like every person you beat, like you get something back, and like it's a completely new job with completely new mechanics. And I feel like that's what pushes you through these long types of game. You're not, if you're choosing the same 4 jobs and you're trying to push through the whole entire game, like, yeah, it might not be as fun as somebody who's like diversifying, if you will. So
yeah,
nice. That's good. I'm glad to hear that it's good, and I'm really glad to hear it's only $40. Here I am about to make another unnecessary purchase, because while I play this, I don't know.
Or
we can.
Yeah.
We can also, like, my character can jump into Dan's game and and help him, and his character can jump into my game by using like these special moves and stuff. So there is
that's pretty fun.
Yeah, we
there
can
is
help
a
each
cell
other.
there. Yeah, there's you'll see my dumb character pop in, and you can name like what their move they're gonna use, and like what they say when they pop into the game, and like you have a lot of customization with that.
Are they pre-rendered like sayings? Because that could get real dirty real fast.
No, you can write them out. I don't know if there's like blockers that maybe help keep things on a moral.
I mean, I can already picture
but,
some really hilarious and really inappropriate ones that people could use. But no, that's really cool. I'm glad to hear that one's good. So mostly positive. I also bought this $10 game called the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour game. Now,
the game that should have been free.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all I want to say about it, is exactly what Dan just said. This game should have been free. I can't say that it is like bad or you shouldn't play it, because it does actually introduce a lot of cool features of the system. You get to try out the mouse mode on the controllers, which, by the way, works surprisingly well. You put the little snap-on covers on that thing, turn it sideways, and I'm like, this isn't bad. Like, I could play a mouse game like this.
We didn't even mention like some of the kind of changes from Switch 1 to Switch 2, as far as like, first of all, the magnetic.
The magnetic, I like.
Clicking in.
Yeah. How did we
great?
How did we skip that?
Yeah, like
the click. It is so good. Like, just the click. I like unclicked it, and it's so sturdy. I'm so happy about how sturdy it feels.
And it feels good to hit the like little latches on the back, and then just the release, and just release it.
Pop right off.
Yep, those work great. The mouse mode works wonderfully, in my opinion. Doing some of the mini games has helped me see, like, okay. And so I immediately was like, ooh, can I use this like on Metroid Prime Remastered? Quickly answered that question. No, you cannot. Software has to be specifically designed to utilize that control set. So my excitement got, watered down quite a bit then, but that's okay. I am looking forward to seeing what games come out. I know the new Metroid will, and there'll be other games that use it. I actually don't know if Cyberpunk uses the mouse controls if you want to for aiming and shooting. I'm not sure if it does.
That'd be cool if you could. Yeah, that'd be cool
if you
could.
Yeah. But yeah. Overall, I like the Joy-Cons are cool. The little like wrist strap pieces, you mean?
Yeah, because now they just go on more easily, and like it just, again, the whole sliding thing of the Switch, like it didn't bother me, but I know when we were talking about it or whatever episode, like you guys, I think one of you maybe said it kind of like the wobbliness of it, right?
Oh yeah,
mine popped out.
They start to get loose.
I had 3 Switches, and all 3 of them auto.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, because you pick it up from the thing you're supposed to hold it by, and it would just pop right out.
Yeah, it's much stronger.
Yeah, I never had that issue.
Yeah.
Well, you also said you don't handle games, so
true.
How would you ever feel it? Yeah.
How would you have that issue?
Yeah, how would you have that issue if you don't?
Yeah,
once in a while.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's a wear and tear thing, so it's just like I played it so often in that, and like picking it up by those, like it's just like after a while, it's just like we give up.
Like, here's my Switch OLED that has now been unofficially decommissioned, but here's the OLED, and I use the Satisfy grip thing that it kind of holds it in, so that helps me not like create this wobbliness between these two things. But when you don't have something like this, and let's just say real quick you're reaching for something and you kind of are holding it, maybe here, let's see if I can get it on the screen. There we go. If you're holding it just kind of like this, and you go to grab something, just that weight alone, the system pulling down against the controller connection, it just takes I don't know, a few months of doing that absentmindedly to grab a drink or to hold it while something loads. You're just holding it with one side while your other hand does something. Like that's just you don't think about it. It's how we use our phones. It's how we use everything. It
You
wears
think of
down
it
that
as one
connection.
complete unit, and it's
Yeah.
not. It's different pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why like it's not been as big of an issue for me because I use this grip, but for my kiddos who don't either have or use the Satisfy grip that I've usually gotten for all our systems, they're the ones who experience that. It's real wobbly between the screen
It's
and
me and Tim's kids who experience
it's
it.
Kyle's one of my kids.
All of us kids
Sure.
who don't know how to
Sure.
handle these things properly. Because you're right.
No, I
That's
think
when you're saying like that's when you're doing this. I'm like, oh, I do that all the time, like constantly.
Yeah, totally.
Like, just hold it out,
Yeah.
and grab something,
or even just to pick it up and put it down. You might grab it with one hand by that
I
side
do.
where your hand's gonna hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's how we do it.
Shame on me.
By the way, I did order the Zen Grip 2 from that company, Satisfy, which is supposed to be fitted for the Switch 2, but also fitted in a way that it'll fit onto the dock. Like they actually shaped it so it can be docked while the grip is on, which is nice. This one I have to take the grip off every time I dock it. But I will miss this. I did love this OLED version that had see if I can get it at a right angle so you can see the design. Kind of, sort of. Yeah, there you go.
The Zelda one is nice. The Zelda one is nice.
Yeah,
it looks really good. So I'm definitely gonna keep that, and or if I don't keep it, it'll be still in the family. I'll make sure one of my kiddos has it. But I love it. But all that being said, I was more than happy to put the new Switch 2 dock there. Nintendo Welcome Tour is fine. It's a fun way to get to know the system a bit and learn about it. It just didn't need to be $10, and it should have just been honestly software that as you boot up the system, it asks, would you like to try Welcome Tour? And then boom, you just play. Like it should just be on the system. Yeah. Shouldn't be something in the eShop. So that to me was a swing and a miss. It's just one of those little things. Like, did you need to make $10 per purchase on this? Or could you have won over a bunch of hearts and minds by just making it free?
Right.
Yeah,
the mini games are they're just tech demos. Like one of them is guess the frames per second, which by the way, once it gets over 60, I've learned I'm really bad at guessing between 60 and like 120. I can't really tell. At least not in their mini game. Okay. I could not tell 60 to 120. But I could tell 20 to 60, 30 to 120. I could see the difference there. But then once you got up to like 60,
they can't tell either. They're just lying to you. They're just lying to you.
Well, I know it's me and my old man eyes because I had my son try it. He just got back from a trip, and so he was trying out the new system last night. And I had him test out this guess the FPS thing because he talks all the time about his PC and my PC and all the different what's the refresh rate and I'm like, you don't know the difference, and so I had him do it. He got them all right. Immediately. I was like, okay,
we're the old ones. Yeah,
my eyes are slowing down.
My other problem with this app is that like the very first few things that you do is like read pages and pages and pages of PowerPoints and then take quizzes that you have to pass to get to the next area. And I'm telling you, dude,
it's so true.
I'm really I'm trying not to be high. I literally closed the game and uninstalled it. I was like, no.
It's school.
I did play a couple of the tech demos and the mouse thing, and I was like, oh, this is cool. The second I got to that stuff, I was like, get out of here. Like, who is this for? Like, so we paid $10 to read PowerPoints and take quizzes?
Dude,
like that's
you're not wrong. Like the quiz stuff and the fact that you can't get to the next section is ridiculous. But
you should be able to skip that at the very least. Like,
I know.
I'm not doing this,
I will say one of the cool things they did, I got to give it some credit. Like the reviews on it aren't great, and for good reason, because it should have been free. Obviously, it's not worth $10, and you also have to buy all the accessories to 100% that game. Like I don't have the camera, probably never will. But you have to have the Nintendo camera, because the whole idea is that it's giving you a tour of all the Nintendo Switch 2 things, and one of those things is the camera. And so, anyway, I'm not going to be getting that.
Tim, if you're really hungry to do it, you can just plug in any webcam into that thing.
Oh, goody. I'm really hungry for that. Yeah, that's true. Really that's a good point. But one of the cool things they did, they have these little demo things you can go in and try. And there's a couple of them that are actually really cool. But one of them is you fire up old Super Mario Brothers, and you have to do it on a 4K screen. So I had to hook it up to my TV. So I had to be up to a big TV. And then it actually shows you pixel for pixel how big the old game was on your TV. So it's a tiny box on your TV. You can barely see it. And then as you go through the game, the screen doesn't move with you. It just extends that. So it looks like, so if this is your TV right here, the little game is right here, and it just starts to expand as you go through the game. And then you see, oh, here's the whole first level of Mario right there. There it is. It's one line on your screen. It's just showing you how small the pixels were then versus now. And then you can get like little medals for getting the one up and going to the underground secret area, getting all the coins. Like it gives you little whatever bonuses. But it's a really cool way to show you the difference between resolution back then versus resolution now. It's actually kind of eye-opening to see how tiny that would have fit when you think about the pixels that are being used. So that part I like. There's some other cool throwback things that they do that I like, but yeah, is it worth $10? No. Honestly, is it really worth that much time to put into it? No, not especially once you've had the system for more than a couple of days, definitely a couple of weeks, then you know what it can do, and you don't need like to me. This is just this should have been something that's there when you first fire up the system. Learn about your Switch 2. Awesome, do that.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of info. Like if you really want to know the minutia of how the rumbles work, they will explain it to you.
It'll show you how the little thing goes back and forth on the little spring.
Like
you know, yeah.
You'll know exactly where it's located at in your hand. You know, like it's and that it is good information. If if you were trying to sell the idea of this, like I bought it. Who are you selling this to?
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
You don't have to sell me on buying the Switch 2 that I had to purchase to play this thing. You know, but it is info rich if you are looking for that.
By the way, my Switch 2 in docked mode has gotten quite warm while playing games in the dock. I pulled it out of the dock right after playing. I'm like, whoa, it's a little warm. It's like really warm. So I don't know if you guys experienced that either, but yeah, keep an eye on that to see if there's any overheating. But
my Steam Deck gets really warm though too, so you know it's
big time. Yeah, like you said, it'll like catch my pillow on fire if I'm not careful.
Yeah, these things just kind of get hot. I mean, these are high powerful, handheld. Where are the fans at? Where are the fans
smushing everything?
Like, are there? It's just like I don't know how these things cool off, to be honest.
It's like 5 people in a 5-passenger car with all the windows rolled up and no AC on. It's gonna get hot in there. You know, it's gonna get hot. It's gonna get toasty.
It's gonna get sweaty.
Walking into a LAN center on a July day, you know.
That's right. Last quick thing before we go over a bunch of the Summer Game Fest and other announcements. I want to go through some of those announcements with you guys. But did either one of you play any of the upgrades? Like, for example, since I have the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Plus, whatever, I have the whole like online subscription. I'm able to get upgrades for like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for free, which is awesome. I didn't know that. So as long as you're a member, you can.
I definitely am that, and I definitely still purchased it. So
you still bought them. I actually didn't know it until I went to the screen and it had the option to purchase it. So I was going to, and then I saw like, oh, you can download for free, and I was like, why download?
Dang it!
Oh,
yeah, I'm mad.
Yeah,
that's okay.
You should be mad.
I should have read.
Maybe
you know what?
Maybe you could get refunded.
It's okay. Yeah. I'd rather just own it.
You know how much of a headache it would be just to get that refunded? Probably just leave it.
I know.
Just
leave it. They're probably getting plenty of phone calls right now, so I don't need to stand in those queues. Yeah.
It should be one of those things where if you're a member, it doesn't even let you buy it. It's like you can get it for free right now.
It may have been a thing too where I bought it first and then I upgraded out because I didn't upgrade until after buying the Switch 2 to that full year, so I could play the GameCube stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it may have
I didn't try that yet. Did you guys try the upgraded versions of like Tears of the Kingdom or any of those things yet? Did you notice a difference?
I threw on Tears of the Kingdom and was crippled by where I was left at in that game, and I was like, I'm gonna turn this off right now.
Yeah. So you didn't play it enough to really see like, oh, it looks better.
I walked around. Smoother. It looks way better. Like it's in. I even grabbed my buddy. I was like, hey, come down here and look at this real quick. He's like, holy shit! Like it looks completely different. Like it is a good looking game. Tears specifically
because it was already designed in a beautiful way, but certainly had some limitations here and there.
A little bit of fuzziness. I'll tell you
it.
that. You could it's like, oh, this is what it feels like when the frames aren't constantly dropping. Okay, like this
I've heard that even stuff that doesn't have an official Switch 2 upgrade, everything from like The Witcher 3 and other games, I've heard that those things are running more smoothly on this system.
The Arkham games were running better. Yeah, I don't really know how that. I don't really know how that works, to be honest. I don't like suddenly those games are going to just run at 60. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works at all. But like, a lot of the games have gotten some kind of bump without getting any sort of update at all.
Which is cool.
I even heard Skyward Sword has like better motion control. It has better, a more stable frame because it was at 60 frames. They already bumped that up to that whenever they brought it to HD. But it's just stable now. So yeah, and that game didn't get an update, you know. So it is interesting that it can just somehow do that. I'm interested to know more about that, to be honest.
You know, one that I didn't buy because I already own it on PC, and that's where I played it. That's where my save is. That's where I want to play Phantom Liberty. But they did release Cyberpunk 2077. I think it's called the Ultimate Edition, which has all the DLC content. Everything is there, and I gotta tell you, even with my most optimistic outlook, I was just thinking like, this isn't gonna be all that great. The average reviews on it are so positive, both from users and from critics. They are just super impressed by this thing. Like ultimately, if you're gonna play on a big screen, that's gonna be the best way to play it. Like on a high-powered PC, of course, on the PS5 Pro or whatever. Like, of course, that's the best place to play it. But the fact that it includes all the DLC and it apparently runs pretty consistently well, I've heard on the Switch
It's
too.
very optimized, extremely optimized on the Switch. It's insane, like how what they got out of that game.
A lot of people say the word surreal. Is that a fair word to use for it? Like it's surreal that it looks and runs this well on a handheld.
When I pull up on the Steam Deck, sorry to keep on bringing up the Steam Deck, it seems like the closest comparison.
Yeah, it is.
To what we're kind
Very
of
close
with
comparison.
Right now. Yeah, but like it's fuzzy on the Steam Deck. It looks okay. Like if you want to play it there, you can. It's stable. You know, you're gonna get like you can lock frames at 30 or 40. You know, this is locked at 40. I turned it down to performance mode instead of quality, and it made the picture look better to me, in my opinion. I don't know how that makes sense, but like it just looks better in performance mode. And specifically in handheld, and like it is sharp looking. Like there's no muddiness. It's not fuzzy. The lights really pop. It is very, very optimized for this.
That's
this
crazy
system. So again, if you're going to be playing mostly on your TV and like you have access to a PS5 or a high end PC, like play it there. Like don't be crazy, you know. Like, but like if you are looking to play it on the go and like maybe I'll pop it on the TV real quick while I do so. Like great, like this is a really good version of that.
I would say if you're in my mode of life where you're sharing the screen a lot, and it's nice to be able to pop it onto the handheld mode while the whole family's watching a movie, and you can also keep playing whatever game sitting on the recliner. Dude, this is the way to go, it sounds like, for this game. If that's going to be your setup. Now, if you can dominate the TV and you're the only one really using it, then maybe get the most powerful system. That's how I approach most multi-platform games. Is I'll get it on my PC because it's currently my strongest place to play most games. But if I need some kind of convenience factor, and I also get it there because the Steam Deck has helped. It's added this other factor of I can play it on the go in some cases. But yeah, man, the Switch 2 has now become a very viable option for some of these major games, which is crazy. I'm curious to see as we move forward what other future games would land here, you know?
This is a rough game to run, you know what I mean? I mean, we're all there, you know, like this game is a lot to run, you know. So again, for it to be running so smoothly, especially after like The Witcher 3, which again ran fine, but it just looked like dog shit, you know, but like it ran on the Switch, you know. That was the thing. There's no concession here. I don't have a but, you know, like it is just it runs good, it looks good, especially in handheld mode. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that it looks that well. And I'm glad that it's getting a lot of like head, you know, it's getting its flowers, getting its head tilt. So
Agreed.
Good. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, listen, real quick. I just need to pause. I have to give instructions to my kids on something real quick, and then we'll be back to go over all the Summerfest stuff. So like 60 seconds. 1 second.
Okay, I'll kill time with other Switch games I'm playing because I bought pretty much everything. Dan, are you familiar with the DS series Fantasy Life? Did you ever play that back in the day?
I'm familiar with it, but I never did play it. I was actually going to buy that, but like it's not couch co-op, which sucks.
There is a couch co-op type of thing where it's like someone controls the bird, but it's like someone controlling the star in Mario. It's like you're just kind of there, you know, you're not really doing anything. I actually really liked the first one. It was really more online-y, like where you could get online with people on the DS, or at least like, you know, playing next to each other with their own like DSs or whatever. I don't know if that mode is in this one, but I did end up picking up this one because the reviews were kind of insane. And this is another one where I'm like, am I playing another kind of cute like playing two of these right now, like with Rune Factory in this, you know, and like it's really good. I really like it. Tim and I were talking about, I don't love the art style. This is not my vibe, you know what I mean?
Okay. See,
But
my
it
wife
is
and I
slow.
do. That's the thing. That
See,
sucks for us.
to kind of turn around on that though is that like when you're in it and playing it, it is a pretty good looking game. It is super charming, and I kind of am
Mhm.
into it now that I'm like playing. Just when you're looking at a
Yeah.
trailer, it doesn't scream like oh badass, like no,
Yeah. No, of
it's not.
course.
It's cute and fun and charming, and yeah, I'm really
Yes.
enjoying that one quite a bit. I put about 2 hours into that one, and yeah, right now I'm chopping trees down in mass, and that's my whole life right now. Is I'm just chopping trees down. And then I can
The
like
trees
turn
gotta
that
get
into a
chopped, Kyle.
carpenter. They got to get a good
Yeah,
chop, buddy.
gotta get
And
chopped.
so whenever I chop those trees down, I can become a carpenter after being a lumberjack, and like you just kind of switch job vocations, like kind of
You
on
can
the
like
fly.
upgrade like job classes,
Yep.
like.
Yep. And like I can take what I did from chopping trees down and now become a carpenter and like take all that wood
Okay.
that I earned to like build stuff and craft stuff for townsfolks and just do like little like quick little missions around town and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And apparently it just kind of it gets deeper and bigger. The combat system, much like Rune Factory, is simple but present. Like there's a dodge
Yeah.
button, there's a hold down button, there's a strong attack and a weak attack and stuff like that. So like there is depth is not the right word. It's just present and it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I'm glad. Another one that I was just like, am I really buying this right now? So I got Switch fever, baby. I got it. I'm
Sure.
sick with it. Coming
You
down
need
with it.
games to play. You don't want to just stare at the
Need
thing and
games to
not have any
play.
games, Kyle.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. And so like a schizophrenic person, I'm just like jumping from game to game and switching personalities constantly. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna play
Of
this really
course.
cute game and switch over and do drugs and Cyberpunk and then switch over real quick and farm a little bit
Yeah,
and switch over real
you
quick.
would like balance it out.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
mean,
a
this is
crazy
the fun.
person right now.
This is the like this is like the main like core of fun about a
All
new
right.
console release, though. Is like
Yeah,
bouncing around to all the different new things. Like, oh, like what's this
yeah.
about? What's that about?
As Tim, I was
That's the
just
main
killing a
thing.
little time talking about Fantasy Life because I got that too, and I was just saying I really liked it too. So
Oh, good.
yeah,
Good. You guys kept talking about
yeah,
other stuff you're playing. Dude, I am
yeah.
on the verge of getting that one. The reviews on it are too good. And I'm like,
It's
do I get
too
this game?
good. And we were talking about like it not being like it's not really my vibe, like it's cute
Yeah.
and like when you're playing it, you're like yeah whatever, yeah I'm in,
Yeah.
like this is
Yeah.
all right. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid on this one.
Yeah.
Very
Totally.
good game. Really enjoying that one.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I was, if they were to, and they should, if they were to put out something like Lies of P on the Switch 2, they'd convince me to get
Mm.
that there. Cause now you got the DLC that just came out, which is getting great reviews already as well. This Overture DLC that just dropped
Oh, is
yesterday.
that out? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That was part of the Out
It was
Now
Shadow Drop,
special
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta
okay.
love when that happens.
The
All right.
last Switch 2 game I played was just Yakuza 0, and the English voice track's great, and the graphics are
Oh,
great.
they did a
So
good
is the
job with the
PS4.
voiceovers because that's the first one that's had English voiceover. No,
It's the
is it the
first
first one?
mainline one in a long time. Like
Mm.
Yakuza,
Okay,
like the new ones are all in English, but like this is
that's
like
right. That's right.
zero
Yeah.
zero through like 6 were like never in the first. It's tricky. We don't have to spend too much time on it. The first one on PS2 was in English, but it notoriously had the worst like
Oh,
dub
so no
in like
one
the history
liked
of
it.
video game.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So they were
that
like,
makes
well, we're never
sense.
doing that again, and they didn't for 20 years. So, but
Sure.
yes, it is really good. David Hayter like Solid Snake himself is in this like
What,
voicing stuff. So
wait, hold on.
huge voice cast.
Hold,
Yeah,
hold.
Well,
he even a few times. He does those snake grunts. Very good though, and it's got some kind of online mode I haven't tried yet. But yeah, this is a PS4 game. It's in 4K, 60 frames per second.
mhm.
It's never looked this good, and it's the best one in the series. So I'm just excited
Are you
to
sure it's
play
David Hayter
another
who's
game.
Snake and it's not Kiefer Sutherland? I'm pretty sure it was Kiefer.
Well,
Don't hang up.
Anyways, I think
Don't
we're
hang
moving
up.
on. We're moving on to
No.
our next segment, aren't we? We're moving on. We're not. We're gonna.
I was waiting for
right
your
on.
screen to
we're
just go
we're
black and
actually
it's
just
like,
finishing. We're actually just
Yeah,
finishing.
That's
Kyle's
the
like-
medic. He's not.
That's not my Solid Snake. Actually, it wasn't Solid
He's not
Snake.
even
Never
Big
mind.
Boss. He's okay.
That's not Solid
We're
Snake,
all-
right?
we're all-
dude, it's like
Yeah, that's-
it's like Ben from Parks and Rec. He's like, I don't even have enough time to tell you how wrong you are.
Speaking of Ben, he hosted the Outer Worlds like Xbox thing, and like it was
Oh.
it was
Ben
the
Schwartz.
Lord thing that we were missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like we didn't get Devolver, but he brought Devolver energy to that show.
He did such a good. He called himself Mark, and he was the director of
Yeah.
sequelization or something like that. It was really
Yeah,
funny.
he's an outsourced director for like making good sequels, and he's just this swarmy like ass. It's so good.
It's
I
so
like it a
funny.
lot.
Everything needs to be sequelized. Yeah, really funny. He's never really leaned back into the full Jean Ralphio character from Parks and Rec, but like there's little glimpses of it sometimes when he goes into that mode. Yeah. But anyway, all right. Well, speaking of him and announcements, I don't know if you guys are aware, there's a lot of events that have happened over the last week. A lot of showcases, so many games updated, talked about, release dates announced, all kinds of stuff, even hardware announced, believe it or not, over the last few days. So I want to highlight at least a couple of these things in the time that we've got left. So this might feel like fast forward a bit because there's too much to try to cover. We'd have to literally talk for 3 or 4 hours and bring up videos and articles and to cover all of it. It'd be impossible. So, like for example, for the indie showcases, I am guilty of not taking the time to watch through. There was at least 2, maybe 3 different showcases that featured indie games. So anyway, I need to go watch those because I was trying to scrub through a few this afternoon before we recorded to find some games to pull out. I was like, crap, every single game looks cool. So if I did that, we would have watched every trailer. So I was like, okay, we can't do this. I had to kind of just...
You might as well just turn on Day of the Devs and we can just talk over it.
We could just talk through all that. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's too many good games. Like just a couple of the titles that jumped out at me at the beginning of one of the indie showcases I started to watch today was Kingdoms of the Dump, which looked awesome. Ovis Loop, Whisper Mountain Outbreak looks incredible. Catanaut looks great. Galactic Glitch, which I'm going to get on Steam because it's down to $10 right now. It's a great like mini shoot adventure style game, but it's more physics based. It looks really interesting. And there's just too many. There's too many more to mention. We can't go through all this. So I don't have those as summaries here. Maybe in the future, as those games release, we'll talk about them as if any of us play a demo or buy the actual game. So it's impossible to cover all of it. But I did want to at least mention in passing the fact that we did have this State of Unreal as part of Unreal Fest that happened on the 3rd. And if you're a Fortnite fan, there's a lot of Fortnite news there, especially if you create maps and use their assets they provide. They added a bunch of stuff if you're a Fortnite gamer. So there's a bunch of announcements there. But most importantly, for those of us who love The Witcher, we got to see a tech demo of The Witcher 4, which was crazy to see. So this was here. Let me see if I can pull up the video.
I mean, Unreal is probably the most appropriate word.
Yes. Yeah. It of course looked so great. Now, they at the bottom you can kind of see in that little tiny print, technical presentation, not actual gameplay. Sure. It's like okay,
the tech demo, but this is what they're aiming for. This is what they're working.
What they're aiming for. Yep. And I don't think we should expect it any sooner than 2027. Is kind of what we've heard from CD Projekt Red. To me, if it comes out before 2030, that's a victory. Like that'd be crazy if it comes out. Just in my mind, it just feels like the kind of game that would take 10 years from that'd be 10 years from Cyberpunk 2077 if it takes till 2030.
Well, I mean, Cyberpunk took about like 8 years.
Yeah, it did. But what's weird about Cyberpunk 2070? Didn't it come out in 2020?
Yeah, end of 2020.
So we're coming up on 5 years. There was a 5-year gap from Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk 2077 from 2015.
Sure.
So
fair,
if you
they did 2 years fixing Cyberpunk. So
think about when Cyberpunk was ready for public consumption. It might have been 2022. Like just in terms of it being like, okay, this is a fully realized. We fixed it up.
So really, 2027 makes sense now. That's 5 years.
Yeah, it does. So, it really makes sense now.
And remember,
you're right.
I sound like a broken record, but like it really needs to be known. The promise of Unreal 5 is that we create games quicker. That's literally the whole point of it, So it's like if that promise is fulfilled, and plenty of people have made games on Unreal 5 pretty quickly, then maybe we're getting this in 2027. Like soon. That's a year and a half away. That's not a lifetime from now. That's
I agree.
Very close.
Also, I just have to mention it just because it was such a hullabaloo when they first revealed Witcher 4. Like there's a shot of Ciri right there in this video. Everyone was like, oh, they made her ugly. I'm like, what are you talking about? Not only does she look the same, she's a little older than she was in Witcher 3, but she's okay, I'm not gonna make it weird. She's a video game character, but she's very pretty. Like, I don't know what you're talking. Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you?
And if you
I
liked
kinda
her
feel
when,
like people-
when you liked her when she was much younger, you need to do
Yeah,
some
that's
soul
weird.
searching.
That's a you
That's
problem.
weird to me. Yeah, like that's,
Well, it's
look
that, but it's
inside,
also
you know?
like these freaking losers sitting in their mom's basements like don't understand that not every human being looks like an action figure that's perfect curvature and like like
Yeah, but
svelte and
I'm
like,
with you. But even then, she does look like a superhero type. Like she looks
Sure,
exactly
yeah.
like you would imagine some sort of
Right.
superhero
Yeah.
character should look. Look how good that horse looks, by the way. That is crazy.
Dude, those horse
When
muscles,
they
those
broke down
video
the
game
horse
horse
muscles,
muscles.
I was like, oh, so they're like going after Red Dead Redemption 2 in the horse physics department. I get it.
Yeah. Crazy. Even the environments, like speaking of cliffs, Dan, come on, man. Look at these cliffs
that's
in this
funny.
video.
Listen, I don't want to get
The town
overexcited,
shots were
but
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, don't get
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't get too excited.
Technology-
So yeah,
technology.
if you haven't seen it, go find the best looking screen you've got in your house with a good internet connection and watch The Witcher 4 Unreal tech demo. It's a little confusing because it's The Witcher 4 Unreal 5 tech demo, whatever. Go look it up.
16 minutes. It's amazing.
It's so good, and it gives me a lot of excitement, of course, for this game specifically because I love the Witcher games. But also to Kyle's point, like there's something about this engine that not only does everything look better, but you're right, it seems like the speed of development is starting to pick up some momentum. Like there's been some games that
Yeah.
have come out quicker than we expected.
And they're
And-
working on like 5 games. Like they're working on Witcher
Yeah.
1. They're working on a remake
right.
of Witcher 1. They're
Yeah,
working on a
that's true.
side
That's
story in The
true.
Witcher. They're working on Cyberpunk 2022 just went into pre-production like 2 weeks ago. Like it's a lot of games, guys. Like for us
A lot of
studio,
games,
and I know
yeah.
there's probably multiple teams, obviously, but like Jesus, come on, it's nuts.
Yeah. Come on, people.
I think what I
Yeah.
liked the most about this overall, and this is such a like a nerdy thing, but like the one part where they're talking about like the just kind of NPCs in the background, and there's that guy who's like buying fish or something, but like there's like a level of detail to like that conversation. Yeah, if you're just walking by, you don't even know that's happening. But if you actually stood there and like watched, and it like actually feels like an organic conversation between somebody buying fish and the butcher guy there, like, and he like he like hands it to him and he puts it in the basket. Like, I don't know, there was just something really cool about that. If they can kind of like stick to that and like really, flesh it
Yeah,
out.
the sophistication of like the AI that they can create for all the NPCs to have, like in this
Yep.
engine, is insane. Like, and they were kind of talking about that a little bit back in the day with that Matrix like tech demo, whenever Unreal 5 was first getting unveiled. And like again, there's like a really sophisticated like scheduling system that NPCs can go on, and it's easy. Like you're not coding all that. Like maybe you still are coding, but like it's taking away a lot of that like really time-consuming coding and fine-tuning. It just kind of drag and drop. I hate that term. I know that's not really real, but like of what you want to do into our engine, and like we'll do it for you. And they were talking about how they were like scanning real life areas and items, and like it just takes it immediately and renders it completely in the engine. Like it's just like we're gonna be getting games at a lightning like pace, which is good because like these companies need to be making money more quicker, in terms of like
even this little
turnarounds
spot right
on
here.
profit.
So this is on a base PS5. They're playing this, and she knocks the apples out of this guy's basket he's carrying, and not only do these little kids go up to pick up the apples, these pigs come out of their pen to go get the apples. Like all these little things in the world start happening. Now, if this person's being controlled right now, like Siri is being controlled by someone with a controller. If you didn't bump into that guy, that stuff wouldn't happen. So it's those little things that make, kind of to your point about the world feeling alive, like this guy getting thrown out of the bar. All these things make the whole world feel much more alive. This is one of the reasons that I fell in love with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And even that, you started to, once I played it for the number of hours that I did, like 100 hours in, I was like, okay, I can see the patterns. These NPCs start to do the same things over and over again. They, the faces are being reused. Okay, that's changing over time. We're seeing games come out with more and more variation, less and less repetitiveness. Repetitive dialogue is starting to change. And I'm with you, man. When they start to really utilize AI in this space to change character patterns, character dialogue, like
you said AI though, Tim. You said the
Dude, I
scary
know.
word.
I know, but it's exciting to me. That part of AI is exciting to me. There's other parts of AI that aren't as exciting to me, but that part
This is where you
very
use it.
exciting to me. Yeah, totally agree. So there you go. Go check out the Witcher 4 tech demo if you missed it. It is absolutely worth your time. So that was a pretty exciting kind of early week way to kick some things off. And of course, the indie showcases happened on the 3rd and the 4th as well. There were a couple different showcases there. Before we get into Summer Game Fest, were there any other call outs you guys wanted to make to other games or other showcases before we get into Summer Games Fest and the Xbox showcase?
I didn't see the Sony one. Was that? Did you guys go over the Sony one last? Did I?
No,
No.
I totally forgot about the state of play.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we can bring that one up
that
too.
definitely happened. A lot of stuff came out on that one. Very good, the state of play.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not that.
What
you
was the
brought
date
up,
for
I
that?
can't
Was
even
that
think
on
of that.
Friday? No, Thursday?
I think it's Wednesday, wasn't
Tuesday.
it? Wednesday?
We're just saying all the
Tuesday.
dates.
It was a day ending in day.
I'm gonna find it. We'll scrub through that one too, because that one happened, I think, before Games Fest. I know that.
No, my only suggestion is if you want a bunch of indies that look really good and unique with some good dev dives, watch Day of the Devs. It was a very good hour showcase.
All right. Thank you very much, PlayStation, for actually putting chapters into your YouTube replay of this. That way we can
There
kind
you
of
go.
look through it quickly.
There
So
you go.
that is
Yeah.
nice. So I'll bring up the Sony State of Play. Good call on that one. So that did happen this week as well. So we had this a new Luminous game. Luminous, however you say that.
Love
Luminous.
Luminous.
Yeah, Luminous.
Oh, love this series so much.
Yeah. So this game was
It's
announced.
one of the
Did
two
they
puzzle
give
games I've ever played in my whole life.
Did they give a date? What did that say? Fall. Okay, it's coming out this
Fall.
fall.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nice. End of VR. There you go. Exciting. All right, and then Pragmata.
Thought this was
Pragmata?
dead. Thought this was dead.
Yeah, remind me of what was the story of this one? Was this
an
announced a long
astronaut
time
guy
ago?
finds a superpowered girl, and they are trying to survive a situation together.
Was this announced a long
Yeah.
time ago? Was this a Sony first party
Long.
game?
This is
It was
Capcom. This is pre-COVID, baby.
This is that Capcom game, the new a new
Yeah.
IP from Capcom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that
got it.
little blonde girl with the blue
That's
poofy
right.
jacket, like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Capcom.
Oh, so this is still happening.
Lots of hits lately. You know, it's enough. It's enough to be excited for on just their pedigree right now. They've got a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still happening.
And this,
Crazy.
This
Okay.
genuinely looks cool. It looks like there's some interesting mechanics where she has like powers. So she's like
on your
literally
back
his
using powers. Yeah.
Yeah, like Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong situation. Like she's just on his back, kind of like doing some stuff while he's like shooting. I don't know. It just looks really cool. I think
It's
it actually
real. That's
looks
cute.
interesting.
They even added a little
It's real,
2026.
guys.
It's real. All right, that's
Yeah.
cute. That's cute. I like
See you in
that.
2027.
I remember this artwork right here of her on the back of it. I thought it was a robot, but
Yeah.
it's an astronaut. Okay. I do remember that artwork. Nice. Okay. So this one is called Romeo as a Dead Man. What's this?
Oh,
this is the new
yeah.
Grasshopper manufacturer game, man.
I was going to say this looks like the Suda 51. Okay.
Suda 51. Yeah. This looks great. I'm a huge fan of this guy and the studio and these types of games, these goofy
So wild.
action games.
Well, to
I wish it
quote
looked like
Kyle
this, to be honest.
on a lot of games, let's get weird. You know what I mean? Like let's get really weird.
So when we get to the combat though, I'm like, this looks like the best combat they've ever done. Like it actually looks incredibly competent.
I'll scrub ahead a little bit. Here we go. Oh, so it's shooting and melee combat mixed together.
Yeah.
Kind of like their previous games a little bit. Okay.
But it genuinely looks like well put together. Like,
yeah. Yeah, all their games usually have like this.
Clunky,
they have
right?
this really cool art style, really cool like creative design, but then like on the gameplay, never quite delivered for me personally. Ultimately,
clunky is probably the right word. I think all their games kind of have a unique feel. To
ultra
them
violent.
that doesn't always jive with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Romeo is a Dead Man comes out. Let's see if it tells us when. Does it tell us when? Did it say when it's coming out?
I don't think it gave a date.
Too much information.
He kind of just pops up on the screen. He's an interesting fella. He's just a.
He's
2026.
the weirdest. Yeah, he's the weirdest. Yeah,
we saw some Silent Hill F. Now, I'm not saying this isn't worth looking at, but I feel like we've watched this recently. You guys cool if we skip through that? But Silent Hill F.
There's more combat in this finally. But yeah, basically it shows a lot of her doing melee combat, which Kyle and I were mentioning. Like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna do any shooting or anything. Like,
yeah, it's very Japanese, which again like is weird for this this
For this
particular
series.
franchise being so
Mhm.
American,
Yeah.
Americana, coded or whatever.
Yeah.
But it
Right.
looks cool. I love the look of it. It looks creepy.
Yeah. I did hear about this next step in the Bloodstained games.
Yeah.
I spent the entire time just screaming Castlevania during. I was like, "Is this Castlevania?
Yeah,
Is this Castlevania? Are they making a new
I
Castlevania?"
was
And
saying
the
that
answer is yes. Yeah, I mean
The
it
answer is
is.
kind of yes, right?
Basically.
Bloodstained is Castlevania. It is made by the Castlevania creator, and it is just
Right.
Castlevania.
Yeah,
It's called
yeah.
Bloodstained.
And
yeah,
so
we're
they
getting a
made
new
the old
Castlevania.
retro one, then they put out the kind of like modern one like this, and now they have this
Yep.
one. The art style is even leveled up, man. Look at
looks
this. So
amazing,
the
dude.
lighting.
And I thought that this didn't do well. I thought that the Kickstarter was considered a fail. I
I
could
kind of thought that was it. Like that was it was a one-off thing, and they're not really doing much more. I didn't.
See, I thought
I
the
didn't know it
Kickstarter was
a success.
successful, but the game didn't sell crazy like once it was
That's
out.
what that's what it was. Yeah, yes, the Kickstarter
Okay.
was successful, obviously, because I got yes, absolutely. But then it just didn't sell well outside of the people who funded it.
So Bloodstained: The
because it's a good
Scarlet
game.
Engagement is another 2020, like a
liked
lot
it.
of 2026 games. So it's kind of cool. We're
Yes.
starting to really fill out that overall coming in 2026 calendar. It's really getting full. But
Yeah,
yeah,
a little bit.
and then we get into a Digimon game. Sorry, Digimon, I'm
Sure.
skipping ahead.
Or you could skip over that. Nope.
And then Dan, his heart stopped for a little while.
Dude, Creative Studios doing this too. That's crazy. Studio
Tell me
3,
what's Creative
which is,
Studio? I'm sorry, I'm not
that's
making
That's OSP's team. That's Final Fantasy
Okay.
14/16.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But here we go, Tim. It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Listen.
Everyone thought it was.
I like to tease you about your tactics aversion, Dan, but I loved Final Fantasy Tactics on the PS1.
Sure.
I never finished it, but then I played a lot more of it again. The Lions one on the PSP, the War of the Lions.
That's
or
the one I
whatever.
probably
War
played
of the
the
Lions.
most.
Yep. So love it. Of course, I love the
I played
Tactics
it
Ogre
again.
games too. So like, I totally dig these kind of games. I'm very much.
So
Yeah. Final Fantasy
getting-
Advance. That was like the sequel,
Yep,
right? It was
I
a
played that
weird,
one a lot.
kind of
Yeah,
a.
I forget. Yeah,
Fantasy
it opens up with like a
Tactics,
snowball fight or something. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
It's
I
like-
loved. I actually beat that one,
one's
which
fun.
is funny. I've never
like that
beaten
one a lot.
this
Same
one.
here.
I've
Yeah.
beaten that one.
So
but
this
what's
is
cool
coming
with
out
this is
in September.
we're getting
this
both
year.
versions. So we're getting like the new version where like it's all rounded out and nice and crisp. VO added to it, but then there's also you can play OG, so you can play like just
that's fun.
original, which is the War of the Lions version. I
this.
believe they specified. So
Oh, so that's what this is. They're
It's
showing
great.
you the older one here. Okay.
yeah,
This is looking more familiar now. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, the little bells and whistles with the other version of it, all in one thing. So.
Oh my goodness, they did not mark this correctly, but this is the learning to walk one. I forget what it's baby steps. I think it's called.
Dude, this game. This
yeah.
game.
No, yeah.
This game looks
Just
wild.
reminds me of like Octodad. Like, hey, do you want to play a game
Yeah.
that doesn't control well? Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to laugh, especially if you've been drinking for a little bit, at a funny looking
Yeah,
game?
yeah.
There's that. This is like a stop motion style. What's this one called?
I don't
Hirogami.
even remember this one. Gotta be honest. I don't even remember.
He was
This
still
one looks cool.
fainted from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were still
basically,
recovering.
yeah.
But this all kind of looks like paper. It makes sense. It's got like this origami paper look to it, but it's also stop motion looking, and it's called Hirogami.
Yeah, this
That's
actually
cool.
looks really cool. I don't know how I don't remember seeing
Comes out September 3rd. Hirogami. Nice.
that.
all right. And then we've got another Everybody's Golf.
Yeah.
Hot Shots.
Shots
Okay.
Golf.
Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
They Resident Evil Biohazarded it. I think it's called like
Right.
Hot Shots. Everybody's or whatever. It's both names
Oh.
in the title.
Yeah.
Both names that they're known
Yeah.
for. They did it, guys.
Sneaky.
They brought the brand together.
They finally did it. Yeah, this
East
of
and
course looks
West
amazing.
meet.
I can't wait for Ragebound. This looks awesome. What a cool throwback.
This looks great.
And it looks
great.
super smooth, looks super slick. So I'm very excited. I feel like games like Dead Cells forced everyone to up their game with side-scrolling platformer combat.
Me too.
Like it really just everyone had to level up. So this looks great. Looks super smooth. I think it's in July. Yeah, July 31st for that one.
Ooh, Switch 2 is gonna get a lot of love with this game. That's for sure.
Yeah. This is another of those weird climbing games where you have to like move correctly to
You
each
gotta climb
hand and
stuff.
foothold.
You gotta climb some things. Yeah.
More of the climbing. That's coming on November 5th. Okay, we're gonna skip ahead. It still thinks it's Final Fantasy. It is not.
It's always
Someone needs
about
to redo
Final
these
Fantasy,
chapters
Tim.
again. So this is like a Mortal
actually
Kombat collection.
In live time,
Yeah.
this is actually how long you were like blacked out during this.
Right?
the
Yeah.
longest
Yeah.
blacked
Yeah.
out for him.
Exactly. Exactly. My
right,
wife
so
was
that's-
just shaking me like, "Why won't you wake up?"
Oh, fight
So
stick.
funny.
Arcade
Okay.
stick, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what's this? I don't recognize
Awesome.
this. I'm just kidding.
Who cares? Pass this. Who cares?
Yeah.
Get
Who
rid of this.
cares?
This
So this
Death
is still. Is this
Stranding,
still August,
the
right?
prequel.
Yeah. The big reveal on this is at the very end they play the music from Metal Gear Online. That's right, everybody. Metal Gear Online is back, and it was the best
Oh.
in 3 and 4. It was so good in 3 or 4. 5,
I forgot about
the
that.
online not so much. There was some other cool stuff going on online with 5, but like competitive multiplayer wise, like 3 and 4 was where it was at.
Hmm.
So they brought it back. Another mode.
I
CQC.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
Wait,
remember
what's with
that?
the
Remember
monkeys?
Metal Gear Solid had an online mode, Dan? No one ever
Dude,
talks
I
about
legit
it.
forgot.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about that.
No one ever talks about it. Yeah. They're good too. They're not bad. They're very unique.
Yeah.
All right, then we get. Is this the? What,
This is it.
is
Right
this
here.
Wukong?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or that last part with where they're sitting by the
okay,
stream.
okay.
I'm getting like still.
Oh, is this Neo? This is Neo 3, right? Where they're saying it
Yeah.
could be like a little bit of an open
Oh,
world
yes,
Neo
yes.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious to hear more about this as it gets closer, but because I liked the
You're
first
just
two
busy.
games, I just gave up on them both. Yes, they were difficult, but also like I don't know. So there's something about most Souls games. It's almost like survival games. Some of them just work for me, and some of them I kind of just lose it after a bit.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this one does look a little more open world exploring. It looks really pretty, so I am much more intrigued by. I think it's also the mission mindset for some games doesn't always click for me. And the Neo games had very much like you go into a mission and you go into that area to do the mission and then you complete it. I don't know. I don't know why. Sometimes it just doesn't click for me as well. It just depends on the game. So yeah, Neo 3, which is slated for, is it 2026 for this one? I think.
Probably.
Or they don't
Gotta
even
be.
give a
Wasn't
date.
a lot.
There's no way it's coming out the same year as Ninja Gaiden 4. So there's no way.
Early
Early
2026.
2026.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so they talk a
Yappins.
little more. Oh, there's a demo out. Nice. Then we get Thief VR. I'm going to skip through that. Then we get this game, Tides of Tomorrow. What's this?
Sure.
I don't know what this
Just
is.
some online like connected to I don't know. Whatever. I think we could
Connect, like the old
You can-
camera that sat on top. the
Yeah.
Connect.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. You heard
You
it
throw
here
it in the
first.
trash. You throw it in the trash.
No, not what was that little boy's name? Milo or whatever that you hang out with on Connect.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Remember
That's
we
so
wasted
weird.
Peter
So
Molyneux's time to
creepy.
make that? That was fun.
What a weird thing. I got more Astrobot. I think it was more DLC, free
Yep.
DLC they were adding, which is cool.
Yep.
Love that
That's
game.
cool.
By the way, people, I'm just skipping ahead for the sake of time because I'm trying to stay aware of our
Dude,
time.
This game looks so cool.
Sea of Remnants.
What a unique
This looks like a
style.
mannequin.
Yeah. This game looks so cool. So much style.
I'm already really digging the way the visuals look.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's
What was that,
piratey stuff.
What was that game? Puppeteer on PS3. Do you guys remember Puppeteer?
That
I'm
rings a
familiar
bell.
with that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like I mean, literally these look like puppet people, but yeah, it's like a Assassin's Creed 4 with puppet people.
Weird. I love the setting and I love the way
Yeah.
the visuals look. The idea of it being like
Mermaid.
puppet people is really interesting.
Yeah. And it's
Look
an
at all the
RPG.
damage being done. I was gonna say, look at all that
Looks like-
damage, Dan. We saw numbers. We saw
all
numbers.
that role playing. So much role playing.
So much role playing. All right, so I'm on board. Sea of Remnants looks pretty great,
Yeah. It looks really cool.
and I believe it's also coming.
It kind of
Next
looked like
year.
in moments like it was turn-based, you know? Like
Yeah, that's what I
there's like a
mean.
moment there's but there's ship combat, like you sign me. I don't know what this
Yeah.
is, but yeah,
Looks cool.
it did. I was just like, oh, I'm interested if it's like a pirate game with like some action.
Yep. Well, sticking with the ocean theme, this one's called Sword of the Sea.
Yeah.
It's,
Abzu and Journey Dev.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was
So
her
he
name?
combined
Squid.
all of the
Squid
Giant
something.
Squid.
Giant,
That's right,
giant
yeah.
squid.
Squid.
Giant squid.
he combined the
With some
elements
three-
of sand and water.
They did. With some
There's a big
3D
showcase on this
platforming.
at Days of the Dev.
Oh.
You got a really good look at it with
Was
the
there?
creator
Okay.
talking about it. Yeah.
This does look really good. Sword of the Sea looks pretty great.
Looks beautiful. Looks beautiful.
Launches in
You
August.
You will cry at the end of this game, guys. It's promised.
For sure.
So.
For sure.
No, they
Okay.
did.
And it will be on PlayStation Plus. It says
They
on
didn't say that.
the PlayStation Plus Premium. You'll be able to play it for free if you have PlayStation Plus Premium,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
All right, this is the Control multiplayer game, right? Isn't this?
Yep.
Firebreak.
Yep.
FBC Firebreak. So that's coming out next week.
Best of luck to you, bud.
Yeah, it's it's a crowded market, you know.
I love the devs and I love that world, but I just don't know.
Me too.
I don't know.
They're very confident in it.
Dude,
like they're like
Resident Evil 2 and 3.
and like I don't know, it's great. Good for them.
To PlayStation Plus, yeah.
Yes. So excited.
Yeah, just in case you'd wanted to go back and play horribly controlling games.
I do, Kyle. I do actually.
And not the new, better, like better ones. But, yeah.
I want both. I want bad controls and good controls, Kyle.
I love it. I love that you want both. I love that.
Well, here's an early look at IO Interactive's Bond 007 First Light.
So in on this. I thought this was great.
Yeah.
This is the trailer that kind of hit people like it was 50-50, it felt like online, but like boy, I was definitely more on the 50p.
I like that he's so young. Like I feel like it's like, okay, cool, you can really have this go for a while. Like tell me don't have to be a Bond.
He's like fresh out of the Royal Military. Yeah, like
I don't necessarily I don't necessarily need Bond always to be someone who's been around for years and years, and I haven't been there as part of it. You know what I mean? I like that I get to be there at the beginning. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
And that works with a game because you're not worrying about an actor actually aging out. So you just kind of making them.
It looks cool. I mean, there's a car driving level. There's there's a lot of really slick action. There's some stealth, obviously, but it looks like Hitman, but like way more action. Like it's a little more shooty, you know.
Yeah,
right. So it's likely gonna be that third person style. It looks great, man.
Gadget.
Right.
There were watch lasers. I'm in. I'm in on this whole thing.
Love me some watch lasers.
I think this thing look awesome.
All right, we got some more.
No one cares about this.
We got some more samurai. What'd you call it, Dan? Like this is the year of, or maybe it was Kyle. One of you said something. It's the year of like shinobi girls killing everyone.
Yeah, this is the year of cool girls killing weird guy in masks.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Somebody's got to do.
I believe that's still slated for October.
You're right.
So,
dude,
all right,
yes. Oh my god,
a Marvel game.
This blew me away.
God damn.
It's a fighting game, so I'm already kind of like checking my watch. You know what I mean? Like,
but like that's the thing. Fighting games are just kind of like whatever to me, except for certain ones that click. But this just looks so good.
The graphics on this look incredible. Yeah.
It's all Japanese too, so it's like everybody has like a Japanese flair to them. They really got to have like a lot of creative license with the characters. The backgrounds are crazy. There's a lot of interactive elements to the levels, like you're knocking people through things and entering different parts of the stages. I'm in, man.
4v4.
You guys hate fighting games so much, I have to pretend to like them more than I actually do, just to like keep some balance on the podcast.
Thank you for doing that for us.
Really into this. Yeah, it was super.
I'm decent at Mortal Kombat. I'm just not good at like the fast fighting games. But this just looks like I just love this. It's anime. It's Marvel anime fighting game.
Yeah, its art system works at their best. These are the guys who do BlazBlue. These are the guys who do Guilty Gear. These are the guys that did Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Beautiful.
These are like all the best fighters like of the last like 20 years they've done. You know. And I couldn't be more excited for this. There's probably gonna be a cool like story mode and stuff like that, kind of like Mortal Kombat or like other Guilty Gear games. I'm excited for this, man, and it sounded like it was a really interesting partnership too, because they kind of go into detail about how like the partnership was.
That's what the rest of the video is.
You don't have to scroll through the rest of it because that's all it is.
That was the final announcement.
Yeah. And then it's just them like,
and then the sizzle reel.
But in case you miss it, Tim, it was that's 4v4. It's a 4v4 fighter, and they're just on the screen.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
So chaotic.
Yeah, that's the thing about fighting games is, they have always looked so cool, and they're iconic when it comes to thinking about arcades and like old school gaming. And I loved playing Street Fighter 2 on my SNES, so I have nostalgia for fighting games, but.
You can pump out some graphics whenever you're like, whenever your stuff is just like, not to say it's like fighting games are simple, right? But
even for the Xbox Game Showcase, that Invincible game, like that fighting Invincible game that they showed looked
look at Mortal
awesome.
Kombat.
Yeah, it looked really nice.
DC versus Mortal Kombat.
Yep. As far as here, let me switch over here to. As far as the Summer Games Fest, we can't go through like we just did. We can't scrub through it. It's super long. Like that was just 50 minutes. We tried to scrub through quickly. Summer Games Fest is 2 hours long, so there's too many trailers even for me to try to hop my way through. So I picked out a few that we haven't looked at before together. Unless you have specific ones you want to have brought up.
I was gonna say if you want to, because time wise, because I mean it's almost like close to dinner time for me too. Do you want to like the next? Because I don't know if there's anything coming up like next episode where it's like, oh, new releases and we're gonna be talking a lot.
Yeah, we could. We could save like
we could split
breakdown. Yeah,
and do Summer Games Fest and Xbox next time.
Yeah.
Well, that way we actually like have more breathing room and can talk about this.
Maybe
stuff.
maybe we end on like a certain Resident Evil, just to like be like, hey, this is that was like the big one, you know, and then we can talk about the.
Wait, that was a big one. I don't think that was that big. Was that big?
Oh, okay, well, we can end it here, guys. Hey, guys, thanks everybody for coming by.
Okay,
this was
that was a little sassy corner with Tim there for a second.
There's that sass that Tim
doesn't like fighter games. Doesn't like Resident Evil. Here we are, guys. Heel Tim era.
Hey, you know what? You know what the problem is, Kyle? Is because Tim can't simulate these things. He wants a simulator version.
Yeah, I just want a zombie simulator. That's all I want.
None of this is very tactical, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Not very tactical. All right, so I will say this: the Capcom team, when it comes to revealing Resident Evil games, I think they are. I mean, they've always done a great job with it, but they are 3 for 3 on 7, 8, and 9 with how they've decided to reveal what this game is. It looks like a new IP. Is it Resident Evil? Oh wait, I think it might be. It said RPD. That's Raccoon, like or RCD or whatever it was. So like they have these little clues, and I just love it. I think 7 was still their best one, where all of a sudden it switched into 7, and the crowd literally like had a collective heart attack.
I think it was the most unexpected because also it went first person. We were just like, what?
Yeah.
Like...
Yes. So it caught everyone off guard. So Village people were waiting for it, looking for it, and when they pieced it together with 8 looking like part of the word Village, that was awesome. Well, they sort of kind of did it again. We'll wrap up our kind of recap of these shows with this because it was quite the way to end the event. Not only did they already celebrate, they had Resident Evil. They had the actress who played Lady D. They had her on earlier in the show. I don't know, like a little commercial thing. Then they had her again singing Happy Birthday, and they showed some clips from Resident Evil, and then had the creator come on and talk about like, thank you so much for your support over the years. We can't wait to show you the next thing we're working on. It'll be here before you know it, like that kind of thing. And it seemed like that's all we're gonna hear. Yeah, blink of an eye.
If you blink, you'll miss it. Yeah.
And it's like literally nothing. Even Kyle and I made fun of it in the chat. Like, oh, that was literally nothing. That was stupid. Like, what a waste. I'm so mad.
I was low key really mad. I'm not gonna. I was like, Kyle, don't be this guy right now.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Like, don't do this. But like, what the F was that? Like, we're announcing that we're gonna announce an announcement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Though. But it happens.
But then it actually happens here at the end. Now, I don't know what you guys know Resident Evil better than I do. I've played 4, 7, and 8 all the way through. They're the only ones that I've completed, and I really have enjoyed those. Dabbled in some of the other ones, not all of them. You guys have played all of them and the spinoffs too. Did you know pretty early on what this was? To me, it wasn't until I saw the Raccoon City Police Department sign broken that I was like, this is Resident Evil. And
I saw her typing at her desk. It showed something that looked like it was like bioweapon. It's sort of like kind of jargon going on. So the second I saw her like walk, it shows some sort of papers on her desk, and I was like, oh, this is Resident Evil. Like this is absolutely Resident Evil.
See, to me, I had already written it off, so I wasn't even entertaining the fact that it could be that.
They already faked it out, so like it was.
But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, this looks like a Capcom game. I don't know why I didn't piece it together. But
it does. Yeah.
It does look like the RE engine. I mean, again, like we've been in this game a long time, guys. Like we can tell what an engine looks like just from like seeing a game running. Like there's only so many being used that are good. So
right.
But Kyle has a little more insight to the side games, Tim, because I didn't play the Outbreak games. But so this
you're right, Dan. I am the bigger Resident Evil fan. You're absolutely right.
That's what I just heard. That's what I heard.
Absolutely.
No, that's not true.
But this character seems to be associated with one of those characters in Outbreak, which Kyle has
in Outbreak. Elisa Ashcroft. Yeah, it's one of my most played games ever in the history of video games. And I did not clock that at all. It's something Dan had to bring up to my attention. So again, the real fan, Dan. He's the one who caught it or saw it and at least first and shared it. But once I did some digging, because that's what we do here, we do a little digging. it was easy to connect those dots. And that's cool.
nice.
Like, I don't know, like it wasn't a huge hit like those Outbreak games, so it's like to just cherry pick from that and like, yeah, we're just gonna build a character off of like an
to have like a
existing
main
character.
on a
Yeah.
mainline
Yeah.
Resident Evil be
It's a
the
nice
daughter
deep
cool.
cut.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
a good
think
deep
the
cut.
word
This is the
that
first
because
moment that I noticed that this is Resident Evil.
yeah,
As soon as I
same.
saw this, I was like, okay, this is happening. And I got super pumped because again, I didn't play the Outbreak games. I'd never finished one, never played two or I did play a little bit of the remake of two, but I never played three.
Okay.
Of course, played four multiple times and loved it. Skipped five and six. I think six was bad, right?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
We
Was it
don't
bad?
talk about 6. We don't talk about
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, it's really
Okay,
bad.
all right.
Yeah.
But then I got back into the series with 7, and I was hesitant to because I was like, not only is it a horror game, which isn't my favorite genre, but it's first person. Do I want to be grossed out and freaked out? And it turns out I
Sure.
do. I really do, and I really liked it a lot.
Yes.
And then Village was amazing. I loved Village, one of my favorite games that year. And then, so I am truly pumped for this. Not like I just want to be excited about everything. Like I'm
But,
actually like, dude, I can't wait for
like
this. Now,
this is the police station, Tim. Like I was telling
Yeah.
This
Kyle,
is
like
it.
this is potentially like we could be going back to all the locales from the previous, as Kyle said, a Metal Gear Solid 4 type of like situation.
Yeah, we're going back to Shadow Moses, baby.
Yeah, we're going back to Shadow. Like that
It
sounds
does.
so
It does
rad
feel
to
like
me.
that. It does feel like it's kind of, and like not in a playing the hits way, but it's like, hey, we're gonna tie in
Yeah.
some like, remember you like the big moments y'all like. We're gonna re-explore these things in a through a new lens or whatever. And the other thing to take away from this is, and again, this is just going off of watching so many trailers. This is one of those hated all CG all cutscene
Yeah.
trailers that Dan doesn't like, but we can take things from this though by looking at it. You see a
Yeah.
character model a lot. You see her where they didn't really show your character like in 7 and 8. Like the suggestion
Sure.
is that this game is going to be in third person. I feel
Yeah,
like the way
yeah.
that they're presenting the character and the character being in cutscenes and not like
Yes,
experiencing it
yes.
through the first person, like you could take away from just by reading the language of the marketing in this trailer that it's probably going to be a third person video game, which is
Right.
great.
Yeah.
I think like I would prefer that for this particular series. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
even
Unless
though I
they
love
really pull the rug, they'd have to really pull the rug out from underneath us and have it be some other character, and she happens to be like like someone who's with you on the
you're playing,
yeah.
you're playing an
That'd be a
amnesiac
surprise.
silent person, you know?
Right. Which I
Absolutely.
don't think is the case. I think you're playing as her. I'm with you. I think it's third person, but yeah.
But also to tie in the element of or the idea that they're kind of like greatest hits, so to speak, like touching some of these landmarks from the previous games. Like, I mean, little bits that I've read here and there of like this is gonna be like all of the characters potentially coming back, but like I think focusing more
love
on
that.
Leon and Jill, because I feel like Jill hasn't gotten enough love in the series overall.
No, after 5, she kind of got benched, right? Like, in 5,
Yeah,
she had that
basically.
like I'm being taken. Like, she's even kind of benched in that game.
Yeah,
Like,
she was like
she's not
possessed,
Jill,
right? She
she's
has that thing.
possessed. Yeah, she has that like
Yeah.
thing on her. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows
yeah.
what the story is for these games? But yeah, I think it is time to maybe tap some of these fan favorite characters. We've been on the Chris Redfield train for a while. If he shows up, great. But like,
Sure.
if we don't get him, great too. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, this is. I feel like you got a lot out of this, and again, for Dan to be able to like spot like in a couple seconds into the trailer, like paper like all over the place. Like, I mean, this game, I mean, like it was screaming Resident Evil from the beginning, and we all kind of caught up to it at certain times. It felt like, or different times.
The misdirect was very effective
to be fair,
for me during the show.
They did it on purpose. Yeah, they did.
They misdirected me, and I went for the juke. You know what I mean? Like I went for the fake, the pump fake.
Same. I was like, oh, is this Silent Hill? I know they're working on another one. Is this an American Silent Hill game? No, it's not. It's Resident Evil.
Yeah. I actually thought
February,
like, maybe this is like an Xbox or PlayStation exclusive. Like I had no idea. Capcom didn't even enter my mind in that moment, but whatever. It was very cool.
Since it's so close, I mean, like we can expect to see some gameplay here soon, I would imagine.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean that's soon. Only 8 months away, right? A little over 8 months away.
Right. This is the Dan special. This is like the release. This is the release schedule that again that everyone loves. Like we all love this. Like announce something, we get it within a year.
Within 12 months is amazing.
It feels good. I mean, there's nothing feels better than that. That's for sure.
Fantastic.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot more for us to cover, and I actually like the suggestion of let's split it and do more talk on this next week. We'll actually have more time to catch up. I'll have more time also to catch up and watch some of the trailers I might have missed and go over some of
Yes.
this. But then we can really kind of celebrate. There's so many things that were announced, and maybe then we could actually go through and see some video
Yeah.
of most of this and talk it over together. But that was a lot. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you guys? I mean, I know it's mostly Switch 2. We talked about most of it. Anything else you're playing that you want to highlight before we sign off? Kyle, what about you? Anything that you're playing?
Nothing on my end, no. Just Switch stuff.
What about you, Dan?
So during this little, I wasn't here last episode, so since then I did beat Bionic Bay as well.
Nice.
That game is really cool, man. That game's really
It is
cool. Definitely a little long, but also like I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, oh man, like I hate that this is a little longer. It just feels like a kind of game that maybe should have been like closer to 4 or 5 hours, but still really unique and really fun. And I beat Doom Dark Ages yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you beat it. That's awesome.
I beat that. So, dude, that game is so metal. So metal.
It's very metal.
Wait,
not to take up too much time, but like everyone is calling it like the worst of the three. Would you agree with that? Because what I played,
really?
I really liked. Yeah, I don't think people are saying that it's like, oh, this is a bad game. They're just like, if you had to rank them, this is. And I think the review scores even show that too. Like, where if you could rank them, like how would you rank them since you've beaten all three of them?
Because what was it, a couple months ago I booted up Eternal for the first time and I liked it, but like it did feel kind of just like a lot being thrown at you, which is like fine. I like that this felt like more kind of going back to basics, and it did feel literally more grounded, and he's just a tank that's just plowing through shit. And like, yeah, I don't know. I liked more of the, I guess, the simplicity of this one. Like there's enough there to play around with, but yeah,
That's a good way to word it. I agree
I like this one. And the mech stuff was, simple but also fun because you're just into this giant mech.
I treat those as like breaks. Like, hey, you just rip
almost like mini games, like really involved mini games.
Yeah. I think that like and for a game like that to maintain like its pacing or whatever, like you have to like throw a couple things in there where you're like, all right, I'm doing something different real quick, and that comes in dragon riding and mech stuff, which I understand those are other things that people were like, I could have done without that. I just wanted to kill more stuff, but I kind of like the I don't know.
I've enjoyed that. I'm on chapter 9. I don't know if I can compare it yet. So far I feel like I'm having more fun than I had with the Eternal, but it's not because the Eternal was bad. I just remember being like, Eternal had too much of the platforming that I didn't love as much. This has a good mixture of all of it. But yeah, 2016 was just such a great return to form. It's hard to top that for me personally. But that's no knock on this one at all. I do enjoy it. One game I wanted to call out real quick before we wrap up. I did buy it and I played it for a little bit. It's Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. And it's
Pipistrello. Okay.
Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. It is awesome. Go look up I won't bring it up right now just for the sake of time, but go look up the trailer for this. It is a super fun old school. It looks like a Super Nintendo game. And you literally are this little.
I saw a snippet of this.
This was on a showcase recently.
So
I forget where this was shown off, but I was like, this looks awesome.
Not only is it visually really cool and well made, but like it's really fun. And the puzzles that you get and the powers that you get, it's like, man, this is a really fun game. You have to use the environment to bounce the yo-yo around a bunch. And it's a really good time. So I like this game a lot. It's very fun. It's kind of witty too. Like the writing is pretty clever. I can see now why it's getting like almost 9s on average, I think, from most reviewers. Which is crazy.
I didn't realize it was getting that high. That's awesome.
Yeah, really high. So anyway,
is that on just Steam? Is that what you're playing on Steam?
It's on Switch and Switch 2. I'm playing on Switch 2.
Oh, Switch.
So.
Oh, great. Okay.
Like I said, I'm looking for excuses to buy things on the Switch, and I was like, all right, I'll get this one. It's like $20.
You just got another sale out of me, buddy. So.
So anyway, Well, thanks for joining us as we recapped our thoughts on Nintendo Switch 2 and a few of the showcases. We'll get back to it next week to recap the rest of the showcases. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.